Chapter 4085. All of them were stunned. This was unimaginable. Holy Sovereign Huangming was also stunned, but he soon came back to his senses and screamed crazily, "Damn brat! How dare you touch me? So what? Yours truly will kick you to death." Lin Xian snorted and kicked out again. Bam! 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 Huangming's head shook like a rattle drum. His face was full of shoe prints. These attacks couldn't hurt him. He was a Saint Sovereign and his defense was super strong. However, these attacks were driving him crazy. This was no longer slapping his face. This was trampling on his face. He was a Saint Sovereign. When had he ever been humiliated like this? Damn brat! Before he could finish his words, another kick came flying at him. Lin Xian pressed down hard on the man's face a few times and stuffed his mouth shut. "What can you do to me? You're a prisoner now. You'd better say something nice. Beg yours truly, or I'll kill you." The surrounding holy venerables were also stunned. Heavens! What kind of person is this? He's too arrogant. Is he not afraid of them coming out to seek revenge? However, no one dared to threaten him anymore. After all, they didn't want their faces to be trampled on. "Damn it! Yu Quan, come and kill him for me!" The Saint Sovereign of the great desolate mansion roared. Yu Quan rushed over when he saw this. He wasn't the only one. Wan, Jenny, and Mo Xiao and the others flew over as well. "Elder, you want to save me? Do you want to come over?" Lin Xian turned around and sneered. "If you don't want to be trapped in the array, come over." The moment these words came out, all of them stopped. Their faces turned ugly. That's right. This array could even trap Saint Sovereigns, let alone them. "Old man, do you think it's possible to ask for help?" Lin Xian slapped Holy Venerable Huangming across the face, causing his face to turn red. With a bang, the lower half of his body exploded. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. "Don't worry, this is just the beginning." Lin Xian secretly controlled the formation to absorb all the sacred blood. He stepped on Saint Huangming's head with one foot and looked at the surrounding Saint Sovereigns. "Tell me, what do you plan to use to please me?" Hearing that, the other holy venerates nearly went crazy. Holy Sage Huangming was even more furious. Was this guy treating him like a piece of wood? Damn it! He gritted his teeth and wanted to roar, but Lin Xian kicked him in the face and shut him up. At the same time, he sat on the other party's head. "You can be a stool for now." Then he looked to these people. "If you all do not wish to end up like him, obediently hand over the treasures on your body. Also, I want each of you to recite your cultivation experiences to me, especially your comprehension of the Great Tao. If there was even a slight mistake, I can guarantee that your end would be even worse than his." The 8 holy venerates nearly went crazy. Was this robbing them? No one had ever dared to do such a thing. Not only did the other party have designs on their treasures, they even wanted their comprehension of the Great Tao. It was something that they had comprehended after thousands of years of experience and countless battles. It was extremely precious. They could not even bear to give such precious comprehension to their own disciples. But now they wanted to give it to this detestable little Taoist in front of them. "What? You're not willing?" Lin Xian slapped the face of the holy venerate beside him. The holy venerate beside him was Holy Venerate White. His face turned red from the slap, and the imprint of 5 palms appeared on his face. Holy Venerate White spat out a mouthful of blood. "Arg, I'll fight it out with you." He wanted to channel his strength and attack crazily. However, the formation had locked them down firmly. Not to mention counterattacking, they were also bleeding, so there was no way they could fight back. Lin Xian stepped on the other party's face. "Old thing, it seems like you're doubting yours truly's words. Since that's the case, I'll let you enjoy this treatment." Lin Xian hated the holy venerate of the great desolate mansion the most now. The other party had already been tortured to the point of exploding. Next was Holy Venerate White. He wanted to take advantage of his seniority to attack Lin Xian with his powerful strength. If Lin Xian had not taken out the unparalleled token and summoned the unparalleled Sage King's phantom, Lin Xian would have been in danger. Now that he had the chance to take revenge, how could he show mercy? Lin Xian used both his hands and feet to slap the other party's face. Soon blood flowed everywhere. It was a miserable sight. Next were the holy venerates of the Thunder God City and the Thousand Demon City. In short, the elders of the holy city who had chased after Lin Xian were all tortured. It was worse than killing them. Outside the formation, Yu Quan, Mo Xiao, Wan Jinni, and the others were about to go crazy. These were the high and mighty holy venerates who were respected by thousands of people. Now they were being tortured to such a state. Of course, such attacks could not cause any physical harm to these holy venerates. However, their faces were damaged and their souls were damaged. That was a critical hit. For such a big shot, such torture was worse than death. "I'll talk. Don't do it," the remaining holy venerates said hurriedly. "We're willing to hand over all our treasures and our insights. Please stop. Please don't torture us." "Very good. It seems that my previous attack was very effective. Listen carefully." Lin Xian sat on Holy Venerate Huang Ming's head again and began to listen. Those holy venerates had no choice but to share their comprehensions of the great Tao. Lin Xian listened carefully, not letting go of any detail. This kind of thing was too precious. It was comprehended through countless battles. If he could obtain it, it would allow him to take fewer detours in his comprehension of the great Tao. After listening to the great Tao comprehensions of the three holy venerates, Lin Xian took a deep breath. Some of the things that he did not understand in the past were suddenly enlightened. It turned out that the great Tao could be walked in this way. As expected of a holy venerate, Lin Xian's understanding of the great Tao was much stronger than theirs. "All right, you guys." Lin Xian looked at Holy Venerate Bai, the holy venerates of the Thousand Sword Pavilion, and the others. Those holy venerates gritted their teeth. At first, they wanted to take advantage of the situation or make up some nonsense. However, they underestimated Lin Xian's strength. Lin Xian's comprehension of the great Tao was very deep to begin with. In addition, he had listened to the holy venerates before. Therefore, he quickly realized that something was wrong. Immediately, he gave them another round of slaps. These people felt like dying. After that, they did not dare to act rashly again. "All right, Great Master Spirit Turtle, it's your turn. Tell me about your array formation." Great Master Spirit Turtle's attainments in array formations were indeed very strong. Therefore, Lin Xian wanted to hear about it. The Spirit Turtle Master had no choice but to share his understanding of formations with Lin Xian. Lin Xian then compared his understanding of formations with his own. He silently increased the strength of the array formation. After a round, Lin Xian sat down cross-legged to absorb and digest the knowledge. However, the bodies of those holy venerates kept trembling. During this period, they felt that a portion of their holy blood was being sucked away. They had all become weak. If this continued, they would be sucked dry. However, no one dared to say anything. On this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes again. "Very good. Are you done with your great Tao comprehensions? Hand over the treasures." Those holy venerates cried. They had thought that the nightmare was over. Who would have thought that the nightmare had just begun? Chapter 4086. These were all sacred venerables. They had treasures on them. Now that there was a chance, how could Lin Xian let it go? However, he did not want the sacred artifacts. These sacred venerables had powerful souls, and the sacred artifacts had been with them for thousands of years. It would be too difficult to erase the soul imprint on them. He did not have the time now. Therefore, his target was all kinds of natural treasures, spirit pills, and miraculous cultivation techniques. There was no other way. These sacred venerables were meat on the chopping block. They had even handed over their comprehension of the great Tao, so it was impossible for them to resist. Therefore, Lin Xian plundered many good things from them. These sacred venerables were in so much pain that tears flowed out. In the distance, Wan Jianyi and Mo Xiu and the others saw this scene, and their eyes almost popped out. Compared to the sacred venerables, their wealth was still a little lacking. Now, the other party had robbed the treasures of 9 sacred venerables. This was simply a shocking amount of wealth. However, they could only be jealous and did not dare to make a move. With this array, the other party was simply an invincible existence. Damn it, who the hell is this kid? Where did he come from? Why had they never heard of him before? These people's eyes flickered as they began to think. Even the sacred venerables were gnashing their teeth. Among them, Great Master Spirit Turtle thought of a person. Could it be that kid? What shocked him in terms of arrays was that he had met someone before, and that was Lin Xian. However, it was impossible. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, he could not be so strong. He dared to rob 9 sacred venerables. He shook his head and suppressed this thought because he really could not accept it. Lin Xian had obtained a heart from a sacred venerate in the 1,000 Demon City. It was a powerful heart, and it was full of vitality. Lin Xian guessed that it should be the heart of a sacred venerate. It contained powerful energy. If he continued to absorb it, he could increase his vitality and strengthen his physique. Although it was surrounded by demonic qi, and he might not be able to use it, he could leave it for the Crimson Dragon or the North Demon. Thinking of this, he put it away with satisfaction. Then he received another treasure from the sacred venerate in the Thunder God City. It was a bronze cauldron with some liquid inside. It was Thunder Spirit liquid. It was a very precious lightning Tao treasure. Lin Xian was very satisfied with this. When it was the 10,000 Swords Pavilion's turn, he was so happy that he almost jumped up in excitement. That was because he had obtained the cultivation method of the 10,000 swords returned to origin from this holy venerate. No, I can't give this to you. Wan Jiang's holy venerables screamed crazily. If you want to cultivate, you will be chased to the 9th heaven and 10th earth. Shut up. Lin Xian kicked him in the face. The face of the Myriad Swords Pavilion's saint was covered with shoe prints. The saint screamed crazily, "You will regret it if you touch this thing." This was the peerless secret technique of their sword pavilion. How could it possibly be leaked out? Humph! If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for bringing that thing with you. Otherwise, how could I have possibly obtained it? After Lin Xian took it, a cold smile appeared on his face. Great, he had already seen many 10,000 swords return to origin. Previously, he had seen the 7 swords of Heavenly Mountain, Sword Dawn, and then 10,000 swords. Every single one of them displayed extremely powerful strength. This 10,000 swords returned to origin moved him. He knew that it was very difficult to obtain such a secret technique, but he did not expect to get it now. The 10,000 swords pavilions, holy venerables, wanted to die. How could he have known that he would be trapped? One had to know that he was a holy venerables. He was very powerful. Who would dare to set a trap to trap him? Even if he was trapped, would he dare to learn the 10,000 swords return to origin? Once he learned it, he would be hunted down by the entire 10,000 swords pavilion. Lin Xian did not care. If he did not learn it, would these people not kill him? What a joke! Only by constantly increasing one's strength could one survive in this chaotic world. Therefore, he took the 10,000 swords returned to origin without hesitation. Then he looked at Great Master Spirit Turtle. "It's your turn. What are you going to give me in exchange? If it's not good, don't blame me for being rude." Indeed, those 9 people were holy venerables, but Great Master Spirit Turtle was only one. He was a middle minor saint. The treasures in his hands were definitely not as good as those holy venerables. Great Master Spirit Turtle's scalp went numb. He thought for a while, then gritted his teeth and said, "I have an ancient scroll." There is a formation recorded on it. It will definitely satisfy you. Oh, Lin Xian took out a scroll from the other party's storage ring. It was indeed very ancient. After opening it, his eyes lit up. Heaven-breaking formation Tao. This was a formation. It was an offensive formation. With its tyrannical power, it could break other formations. No wonder Great Master Spirit Turtle was so powerful. He dared to come to such a dangerous place like the Moon Mirror Lake alone. And he even succeeded. It turned out that he was using the heaven-breaking formation Tao. This was also an incredible treasure. If he went to other places after cultivating it, the speed and efficiency of breaking the array formations would be much faster. Thinking of this, Lin Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. Very good. This was a great harvest. He had obtained all kinds of treasures, and they were all the best. Among them, he was most delighted with the sect returning swords and the heaven-breaking formation Tao. As for the other treasures, he could also cultivate them and give them to the Murong Qingqing, the Crimson Dragon, and the others. Damn brat, we've given you everything. Can you let us go now? Great Master Huang Ming gritted his teeth and said. The others asked one after another. Lin Xian said, I can let you go, but not now. When the formation has sucked enough of your blood, I'll let you go. What? Hearing this, these people went crazy. Damn brat, you're going back on your words. Damn it, I'll never forgive you. Lin Xian snorted coldly. How am I going back on my words? I said that I won't torture you if you hand over the treasures. But when did I say that I'll let you go? Moreover, I didn't say that I won't let you go. It's just that we didn't agree on the time. I didn't say that I'll let you go immediately. Those sacred venerables were so angry that they vomited blood and roared. In the end, they were slapped a few more times. The other sacred venerables also became obedient. They could only grit their teeth. Damn it, don't let us out or you'll be dead. Lin Xian couldn't be bothered. During this period of time, he had been torturing these sacred venerables every day. It was very satisfying, and the resentment in his heart had also been vented. Moreover, these sacred venerables had coarse skin and thick flesh. Their defense was very strong. They had even beaten his arm until it was numb, so he couldn't be bothered to torture them. It was better to study the great Tao insights and various treasures that he had obtained to improve himself. As for the revenge of these sacred venerables, what a joke. He wasn't afraid here. The formations here could be used by him. Therefore, he wasn't worried. Lin Xian came to the side, sat down cross-legged, and took a deep breath. He first took out the crimson pill and swallowed it. This was a pill that could strengthen one's soul. It was very precious and rare. At this moment, he naturally wouldn't be polite. Chapter 4087. After swallowing it, Lin Xian felt his soul being nourished. He completely absorbed the medicinal power. 5 days later, he opened his eyes. It was indeed a good thing. He felt that his soul was stronger than before. This way, the power of his eye technique would also increase. Lin Xian's soul was originally very strong. In the past, his eye technique was equivalent to a late small saint. Now, it was close to that of a holy venerable. This had become one of his trump cards. Next, he relied on his powerful soul to multitask. He even created several clones and began to cultivate and organize different things. Some clones comprehended the great Tao law, while others read the Return to Origin scrolls. Some disappeared directly. In fact, they entered the Great Sage Tower to deal with some things, such as the Heavenly Dipper Sword. Previously, Lin Xian had obtained a set of battle swords from the Golden Crow clan's 6th prince. He didn't have the time to refine it. Now he had to deal with it properly. If this battle sword was combined with his sword technique, it would be extremely powerful. The surrounding people were speechless when they saw Lin Xian creating many clones to do different things. At first, they were disdainful. What a joke! This would definitely lead to qi deviation. People like Wan Jinni could create clones, but very few people did so. That was because, at this level, cultivation was truly too difficult. who didn't give it their all. However, Lin Xian could create clones. Splitting his energy like this was destined to be a failure. How could they know that Lin Xian's soul was far stronger than theirs? That was why they dared to do so. Time passed slowly. Wan Jinny and the others didn't dare to approach. However, the 9 holy venerables and Grand Master Spirit Turtle screamed every day. Towards the end, they became more and more frightened. Almost half of their blood had been taken away. At this moment, their bodies were withered and their faces were pale. They looked like dried corpses. If this continued, they would really die. After another half a month, only 1/5 of their blood was left in their bodies. These people were completely terrified. They started to beg for mercy. However, Lin Xian didn't care at all. He focused on his own things. Finally, one day, with a boom, the entire formation shattered like a mirror, emitting cracking sounds. What's going on? What happened? Wan, Jenny, Emocio, and the others were extremely anxious. Every day, they would observe the elder's condition. The changes that happened in the past day made them even more nervous. Gufeng said, "The formation seemed to have been activated." What? Really? Wan, Jenny, Emocio Chuan, and the others' expressions changed drastically. Had their elders been saved? Lin Xian also opened his eyes and recalled his clones. His eyes flickered. Had it finally opened? To be honest, he was also a little excited. Because Dawnfall Peak really did have a guarantee. The 9 sacred venerables and Grand Master Spirit Turtle were in despair, but the activation of the formation gave them hope again. Great, they were finally reborn. What about that little Taoist? They wanted to tear him to shreds. Following the destruction of the spirit formation, the bodies of those people began to loosen. Then they finally rushed out. Furious roars resounded throughout the world as they emitted terrifying killing intent. Die, brat! At the same time, a cold voice sounded. Disciples of the holy city, listen up. If you kill this little Taoist, you will be heavily rewarded. Kill! Those people in the distance received the order. Their eyes turned red as they quickly rushed over. The terrifying killing intent was earth-shattering. One by one, figures dashed toward Lin Xian at high speed. Lin Xian stood there, but he didn't care at all. Do you want to die? I'll help you. He raised his hand and slapped in front of him. He had the 9-yang divine body, but to hide his identity, he didn't let the golden light shine. However, this didn't mean that his strength had weakened. The sacred venerables at the front were instantly sent flying. Some of them directly exploded, and some had half of their bodies shattered. All kinds of miserable screams sounded. Lin Xian slapped dozens of figures as if he was swatting flies. The people behind him also stopped and sucked in cold air. Wasn't this power a little too strong? Step back. Wan Jinny and the others rushed over. Brat Dai, let's see how you can be arrogant without the formation. They gritted their teeth. Wan Jinny attacked, and terrifying sword energy lit up the sky. Emocio and the others also attacked. The Yellow Springs diagram and various supernatural powers were used. Who said that I don't have a formation? Countless formations lit up under her feet, blocking all the attacks. Damn it, I'll do it. The 9 sacred venerables in the sky roared crazily. We have to deal with this brat personally. Wan Jenny and the others retreated, and the 9 sacred venerables rushed forward. They were really angry. They wanted to pay back the torture they had suffered these days 1,000 times, 10,000 times. Old things, do you want to be trapped? Lin Xian stomped his foot again, and the broken formation shone brightly once more. It seemed that there were endless chains rushing over. When the 9 sacred venerables saw this, they screamed crazily and ran away like dogs. Ha! Lin Xian laughed. You dare to call yourselves sacred venerables with such cowardice? Ridiculous. He passed through the formation and entered the Dawnfall Peak. Damn it! Damn it! The faces of the 9 sacred venerables turned green. The formation was broken. Just now, the other party was just using a camouflage to scare them. Let's go. We can't let that brat succeed. The 9 sacred venerables rushed in. Great Master Spirit, Turtle's face was also cold. He also moved quickly. The heaven-breaking formation path must not be leaked. Previously, he handed it over to save his life. Now that he was free, he wanted to take back the treasure. He wasn't the only one with such thoughts. The sacred venerables of the Myriad Sword Pavilion, the sacred venerables of the Thunder God City, and the others all wanted to capture the other party and take back the treasure. Let's go to the back. Wan Jinny and the others also rushed in. They had spent so much effort to break the Sunset Peak. These people also rushed in. After entering, they found that there was actually an independent space inside. This green mountain realm was too magical. There was actually a world within a realm. This place was even more extraordinary. They could feel the aura of treasures. Look, what's that? Heavens, that's an immortal palace. Someone screamed. He saw that not far away, there were immortal palaces that fell heavily, as if they were the 9 heavens. Is that the Divine Medicine Institute? Someone else exclaimed. They found that, on the other side, there was a spiritual herb garden. Each spiritual herb was tens of thousands of years old. The multicolored light and great Tao above were too terrifying, making one's heart flutter. What's that? Elixir Pavilion? There were countless medicinal pills floating in the air. Yu Quan looked to the other side, his heart trembling. Wan Jianni stared at a pagoda. There were countless treasured swords circling inside. One of them was very terrifying, like a divine sword. Chapter 4088. A peerless divine sword. His hands were trembling. As a swordsman, how could he not be moved when he saw such a treasured sword? For a moment, everyone seemed to have discovered an incredible treasure. Even the 9 sacred venerables and Grandmaster Spirit, Turtle, stopped chasing after them. Instead, they stood in the void, their eyes filled with a fiery red color. Heavens, is that the Thunder God's battle robe? The sacred venerables of Thunder God City found a battle robe in front of them. The aura of thunder on it made him so happy that he almost fainted. The people of Demon City were the first to scream. The true dragon divine medicine. I see the true dragon divine medicine. These sacred venerables also went crazy. Lin Xian also stopped. He was the first to enter, so he was also the first to discover it. However, what he saw was a throne. It floated above the 9 heavens, emitting endless light. It was as if sitting on it could surpass all worlds. He was too tempted. It was as if the great emperor realm that he dreamed of could be realized as long as he sat on this throne. He even couldn't help but want to walk forward. However, before he could take a few steps, the people behind him rushed in. Those screams and roars made him stop in his tracks. Lin Xian turned his head and looked behind him. He saw countless people. Their eyes were red, and they were all infatuated. He frowned. He felt that something was wrong. But what was wrong with it? He couldn't tell. He observed carefully. Suddenly, his pupils shrank to the size of needles. He found that some people were obviously looking in one direction. However, the roars were all different. For example, in the east, some people saw a spiritual herb garden, while others saw a pagoda. Some people even saw a pill furnace. What was going on? Lin Xian frowned. He activated the heavenly secret divine eyes and looked around. In the next moment, he found that the scene he saw became hazy. It was like smoke that would dissipate at any time. What was going on? It wasn't enough. Lin Xian frantically operated his soul and activated the heavenly secret divine eyes to the extreme. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying golden light burst out from his eyes. It was like a pair of God's eyes that pierced through the 9 heavens. In the next moment, he discovered that the Emperor's throne hanging above the 9 heavens had disappeared. It drifted away like green smoke, leaving nothing behind. The surrounding spirit, herb gardens, and pagodas had all disappeared. Fantasy. Was this all just a fantasy? Lin Xian took 2 steps back, cold sweat trickling down his back. It was too dangerous. He had been deceived just now. If it weren't for the fact that there were too many people here and he was agitated, he would have fallen into the trap of the illusion. He would never be able to escape in this lifetime. Who was this? Set it up? Was it the Qingshan Saint King? As expected of a holy king. His means were too frightening. Even those 9 holy venerates were unable to discover any flaws. It was only because he possessed the heavenly secret god eyes that he was able to see through everything. At this moment, those people roared, "Charge! Hurry up and grab it!" They rushed in all directions. "This is the spirit herb garden that I have my eyes on!" Someone roared, unleashing terrifying lightning that covered the entire area. "What spirit medicine garden? This is a pill pavilion. You want to steal my pills." On the other side, the terrifying demonic beasts rushed up, not backing down at all. These people's eyes were all bloodshot. Even Wan Jianni charged to the pagodas hiding the countless divine swords. Gu Feng also went for the pagodas. "Scram! You are not a swordsman. What are you doing here?" Wan Jianni instantly sent out countless strands of sword qi, cutting off the other party's path. However, Gu Feng appeared and disappeared mysteriously. What swordsman? This is clearly an astral pagoda that contains the secrets of the universe. It is very helpful to a spatial attributed expert like me. Are you trying to stop me? The 2 did not agree and they started fighting. It was not just the ordinary holy kings. The outstanding talents on the Holy Pilgrim ranking also entered the illusion. These holy kings did not know what was going on. They only fought crazily. It was not just them. Even the holy venerates' eyes shone with horrifying light. "Scram, all of you!" A pair of lightning wings appeared on the thunder god's back, covering the sky. As they flapped gently, boundless electric light illuminated the 9 heavens. Everywhere the lightning wings passed, the people close to them were sent flying. Although these holy venerates only had 1/5 of their holy blood left, their strength greatly reduced. However, they were still holy venerates. No matter how weak they were not people that others could fight against. The surrounding holy kings all retreated. They could not stop them. However, the other holy venerates also made their move. Endless purple light appeared on Holy Venerate Bai's body. He transformed into a purple palace. It was like an immortal palace as he charged over. "Scram, do you think that I have my eyes on that lightning treasure?" "What lightning treasure?" "It is obviously more useful to me." These holy venerates also went crazy and started killing. In an instant, a great battle broke out. No one was spared. Even the great master spirit, Turtle, charged in a certain direction like a madman. Qin Xiener, who usually charmed everyone, was also doing the same now. However, her eyes were also red. She was searching for the treasure. The only one who was still normal was Lin Xian. Lin Xian looked at the crazy battle around him. His body was trembling. Wasn't it too terrifying? This was the illusion set up by the Green Mountain Holy King. It made the people who came in fight crazily. In the end, these people would not get anything. Moreover, they would kill each other and die together. Fortunately, he had the heavenly secret divine eyes and saw through everything. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, he was clear-headed, but the others had all gone crazy. Finally, someone came to his side. "Little Taoist Scram, are you trying to snatch my things?" Emoshio had an endless army of skeletons above and below him. It was very terrifying. Kill. The Yellow Springs diagram rotated and turned into a Yellow Springs python that charged over. At the same time, the million-strong army of skeletons roared crazily. The sky trembled and the earth shattered. This terrifying ability drowned Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Scram!" The power in his body erupted and swept out. With one sword, iron chains crossed the river, spreading out in all directions with him as the center. The army of skeletons was directly cut in half when they encountered such a terrifying sword wave. They scattered all over the ground. At this moment, the Yellow Springs diagram that had turned into a golden python had already arrived in front of Lin Xian and wrapped around him. This immense killing force caused Lin Xian to feel his blood and qi churn. Go to hell. Without the formation, you're nothing. Mo Xiu laughed sinisterly. At this moment, he was like the god of death from the netherworld. Boom! Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to kill me with this little attack? What a joke. So what if I don't have the formation? I'm also on the pilgrim list now. Yu Quan was defeated by him. He was also not afraid of Mo Xiu. Open. His body swept out. The Yellow Springs python's body kept twisting and then exploded. Endless Yellow Springs water scattered in all directions. Those saints who touched it screamed crazily. Their bodies quickly decayed and melted. Lin Xian stepped on the ground. You can actually block my Yellow Springs diagram. However, don't even think about snatching my treasure. What treasure? Lin Xian's face was cold. He realized that although he was clear-headed, these people were crazy. He was also caught up in the storm. Chapter 4089. Do you really think you can block my Yellow Springs? Let me show you what the real Yellow Springs is. At this moment, Mo Xiu attacked with all his strength. He was wearing the yellow complete map and holding the devil trident in his hand. He looked like the Grim Reaper of Hell, extremely powerful. The Yellow Springs sea was filled with a nauseating aura. The shattered skeletal army came back to life and quickly regrouped. The million skeletal army formed a terrifying skeletal creature. A total of 5 skeletons were formed. They rushed over together. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The energy in his body burst out like an ocean, causing the entire world to shake violently. Boom! With a single slap, it was like 100,000 mountains, sending the surrounding sages flying. Heavens, this little Taoist is too strong. A trace of fear appeared in their red eyes. Previously, they only knew that the other party's array was powerful. But now, it seemed that it wasn't just an array. The other party's strength was also top-notch. Lin Xian and Mo Xiu fought fiercely. The two of them were evenly matched. They fought from the east to the west, from the south to the north. At this moment, a roar was heard. Little Taoist, you want to snatch my divine sword? Go to hell. It turned out that they were fighting near the myriad sword intent. Wand Jenny thought that the other party was here to snatch the treasure, so he attacked instantly. Terrifying sword qi illuminated the sky. He kept attacking Lin Xian and Mo Xiu. The two of them could only defend quickly. Mo Xiu's Yellow Springs map swallowed the sword qi. Lin Xian's body swayed, dodging the sword qi. Those that couldn't dodge were sent flying by his fists. One had to admit that Wan Jinyi was too strong. He was much stronger than Yu Quan. The other party was a late minor saint. Lin Xian's entire arm went numb after he was sent flying. It seemed that even though they were all on the pilgrim roll, there was still a huge gap between each member. Buzz! At this moment, Gu Feng suddenly appeared behind Lin Xian and pointed at him. Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. Not good. This Gu Feng is here too. And he attacked me too. He instantly activated the void escape and disappeared into the void. However, Ancient Wind also disappeared. When he reappeared, he was still stuck to Lin Xian. You won't be able to escape. I know my Gu clan's abilities better than you do. Gu Feng was similarly powerful, appearing and disappearing unpredictably. Fortunately, Wan Jinyi was holding back Gu Feng, preventing him from using his full power. Otherwise, Lin Xian would really be in danger. Even so, he was still pulled into the vortex. A chaotic battle broke out between the four of them. Every strike was extremely terrifying. If one was slightly weaker, they would have died under this mystique. Humph! Lin Xian was also enraged. He was still a little Taoist, so there were some methods that he couldn't use. However, he would not sit still and wait for death. His soul had gone through a baptism and become stronger, so it was suitable for him to use techniques at this moment. In his eyes, a terrifying light blade flew out. It was a soul attack. In an instant, Wan, Jenny, Gufeng, and the rest felt the impact. They clutched their heads and screamed. Lin Xian took the opportunity to pull away. His face was cold. To be honest, he didn't want to use his soul mystique because he was afraid that it would wake these people up. However, it seemed that he was worrying too much. Those people's faces were distorted. You dare to use a soul attack on me? Damn it. I didn't expect you to have such a method. They were not prepared previously and suffered a huge loss. Even Gu Feng's expression was ugly. He knew spatial mystique, but the soul attack still injured him. This made him feel extremely humiliated. Kid, I held back previously, so don't blame me for not being polite now. These 3 people were filled with monstrous killing intent. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect that his soul attack couldn't wake these people up in the dream. Wasn't this dream too terrifying? The 3 of them attacked crazily. Lin Xian activated the void escape and kept dodging. At the same time, his soul attack also swept out crazily. A great battle broke out, and it was soul-stirring. Many of the people in the surroundings turned their heads and were stunned when they saw this scene. Heavens! Was that little Taoist so strong? Get lost. At this moment, an even more terrifying sword light rushed over. It turned out to be the sword Venerable from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. His sword Qi was even more terrifying than Wan Jianyi's. Gu Feng's pupils shrank. He instantly activated his spatial mystique and fled. Wan Jianyi used the 10,000 Swords Convergence to dodge. The demonic cultivator also used the underworld map to quickly retreat. Lin Xian saw this scene and also dodged crazily. However, the saint from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion had his eyes on him and chased after him crazily. Lin Xian's face was cold. Damn old thing. He quickly searched for information on the map in his mind. Humph. He rushed in a certain direction. Kid, you can't escape. I will tear you into pieces. Lin Xian didn't say a word. He used his speed to the extreme and arrived at that place. He stomped the ground. The surrounding array was reactivated and blocked the saint from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. The saint roared crazily and counterattacked. However, he couldn't open the array at all. At the same time, the other saint charged over. It was a crazy battle. Gradually, some people were injured. Some people died, and their blood dyed the 9th level red. Heaven and earth sank. Those people had completely gone crazy. Lin Xian was shocked when he saw this scene. He searched for information on the map and used the array to escape underground. He quickly left. He walked in another direction. It was the direction of the 9th heaven. There were endless palaces there. They looked like immortal palaces. He rushed to that place and climbed up. When the people outside saw this scene, they shouted crazily, "Kill him!" The saint from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion rushed over. "Damn kid, how dare you? Get down! This is not a place where you can touch." These Saint Venerables were crazy. Many of them rushed over. They fought and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian's face was cold. He climbed up the 9th heaven and directly pushed open the door. With a boom, the aura of desolation flowed out and blew on Lin Xian's body, making a thunderous sound. Damn it! The eyes of those Saint Venerables turned red. They attacked without caring about anything. They wanted to climb up the 9th heaven. At this moment, a sigh was heard from the 9th heaven. What's the point of fighting in my dreams? Boom! 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 As the sound changed, the surrounding Saint Venerables were all sent flying. As for the other saints, they all retreated and vomited blood. Their faces were filled with horror. Who was it? Who was it? Could it be the Green Mountain Saint King? They were shocked and bewildered. Lin Xian was also surprised. He could come here because of the information on the map. Originally, he just wanted to give it a try. He didn't expect it to lead to such a change. In the next moment, he saw a hazy figure floating out of the palace of the ninth heaven. This person was abnormally hazy, as if he was illuminated by green smoke. However, when he saw that face, Lin Xian's body trembled. This face was so familiar. Where had he seen it before? Chapter 4090. Suddenly his pupils constricted. This face was too similar to the young master of the Green Mountain clan. However, this was the face of a mature man, while the young master was only an 8 or 9-year-old child. However, the two of them looked exactly the same. Then he thought of the map that the young master had given him, allowing him to be like a fish in water here. Lin Xian's heart pounded wildly in pain. Could there be a connection between the two? He thought of a possibility. What shocked him even more was the other party's other words. What did he mean by fighting in his dream? Was this the other party's dream? He was not sure, and the people around him were not sure either. The 9 sacred venerables were also facing a great enemy. Was this the Green Mountain Sacred King? He was just a remnant soul. There was nothing to fear. Sigh. The Green Mountain Sacred King sighed. He did not make a move. Instead, he said faintly, an eternal dream had finally come to naught. As his voice fell, the surrounding spiritual herb gardens, pill pavilions, divine swords, and all kinds of treasures shattered and disappeared. The people around him screamed crazily, "My treasure! My treasured sword!" These people had all gone crazy. They rushed into the distance. In the end, they only caught a wisp of green smoke. One by one, they screamed at the sky and vomited blood. The 9 sacred venerables also vomited blood, non-stop. Their faces were filled with fear. A dream! They had been in an illusion all this time. Could this really be the other party's dream? Was this the Sacred King? The gap was too big. They fought desperately, but in the end, they were only in the other party's dream. No, I can't accept this. Sacred King, Huang Ming screamed. The sacred venerables of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion were the same. Their eyes were filled with killing intent. So what if it was a dream? That little Taoist priest had to be killed. A sword soared into the air. It was extremely powerful. Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. This sword was too powerful. It was simply a fatal blow. At this moment, the Green Mountain Sacred King made his move. With a light slap, he shattered the sword. Then he grabbed the sacred venerables of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. The sacred venerable's body tensed up. His face was distorted, and his eyes were filled with fear. He was too powerful. He could not even block a single move. It was impossible. It must be because he had lost too much blood. Yes, he was just a remnant soul. The sacred venerate of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion roared frantically. The other sacred venerates were also drooling. The Qingshan Sacred King's phantom said, "You're not welcome in my dream." After saying those words, he waved his hand and tossed the young man away. The void cracked open and swallowed the 10,000 Swords Pavilion's Saint Venerable. The screams of the Holy Venerable disappeared. The other sacred venerables also felt their scalps go numb. "You're not welcome in my dream either." Right after Shao Qin spoke, he tossed out the 8 holy venerates. The incomparably terrifying holy venerates, supreme existences, were as insignificant as ants in front of this illusion. They instantly disappeared without a trace. Then, the phantom of the Sage King slowly disappeared. Everyone was stunned. Even Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. Although there was no threat from the sacred master, he still felt very strange. Was this a dream or was it real? The surrounding people were also stunned. They realized that many of the treasures in their eyes had disappeared, but the 9 heavens in front of them had not disappeared. At this moment, Lin Xian was standing in the 9 heavens. "Damn it! Kill that kid!" Many people roared, "Kill!" Those people quickly rushed over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He turned around and entered the palace in front of him. Then the palace's gate slowly closed. Crack! 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 Everyone's attacks hit the 9 heavens, causing a deafening explosion. However, it did not have any effect at all. Not even a trace of a wave was raised. Damn it! Yu Quan, Mo Xiu, and the others gritted their teeth. Wan Jinny also looked unwilling. Gu Feng's eyes flickered. "I don't believe there's only one treasure in this place. Let's go find other places." One after another, they began to search in all directions. At the same time, outside the Dawnfall Peak, some figures were standing. The one standing at the front was Chao Tiansheng. The followers beside him asked, "Young master, are we not going in?" Chao Tiansheng shook his head. "We're not going in. The moon in the water is like a dream. We're going to other places." After saying that, he actually left with his followers. If the people inside heard this, they would definitely be stunned. Chao Tiansheng seemed to have seen through everything. Most people came to the Dawnfall Peak. Of course, not all of them. For example, Chao Tiansheng came and left. At the same time, Murong Qingqing, Li Hongxiu, and the others were also crazily plundering resources and treasures. Inside the Dawnfall Peak, Wan Jinny and the others were searching crazily. Whenever there was a little harvest, they would fight. This time, the phantom of the Holy King did not appear again. The gate of the 9 heavens palace was tightly shut. After Lin Xian entered, he looked around curiously. He wanted to find the phantom of the Qingshan Holy King, but he could not find it at all. The surroundings were a little dark. Not long after he entered, he felt a little sleepy. He even yawned. "What's going on? Why do I feel like sleeping so much?" Lin Xian wanted to endure it, but the sleepiness overwhelmed him. He directly lay on the ground and fell asleep. He had a very, very long dream. In the dream, he became a peerless expert and swept across the 8 desolates. Not only that, he was also chased by countless people and became the enemy of the world. This dream was bizarre. There were some things that he had never seen before. There were some enemies that he had never thought of. He did not know how long this dream lasted. Outside, those people inside the Dawnfall Peak fought, but they did not find anything, so Wan Jinny and the others came out. They decided to search outside. However, the east and north had already been searched by Murong Qingqing and Xinjingqiu. The south had been searched by Lin Xian and the others. Only the west was left. These people charged over and fought until the sky darkened. Finally, it seemed that the time was up. These people were all teleported out. Many people in Qingshan City were waiting. To be honest, they were very curious, especially when the 9 holy venerables were thrown out. These people's expressions were incomparably strange. Even the people of the Qingshan clan were stunned. Only the eyes of the Qingshan clan's leader flickered. He did not seem to be surprised. Damn it! After those holy venerables came out, they all roared at the sky. "Open it quickly. We want to enter the Qingshan world." These people roared crazily. The leader of the Qingshan clan shook his head. It could only be open once. Everyone should wait for the next time. Those people were so angry that they vomited blood. There were still people they wanted to kill inside. They did not believe that they would not come out. These people began to wait patiently. The surrounding people whispered. Some experts sensed that the 9 holy venerables' condition did not seem good. At the very least, their qi and blood were somewhat withered. They did not know what had happened to make the 9 holy venerables suffer. Time slowly passed. Many people were teleported out. When Mo Xiu, Yu Quan, and the others were teleported out, more and more screams rang out. Finally, Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu were teleported out. Everyone seemed to have come out. The eyes of those holy venerables were like stars as they began to search everywhere. Chapter 4091. Damn it, there was no such person. How was that possible? Could it be that the little Taoist was still inside? These people were all stunned. Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu were also looking around. Where was Big Brother Xian? Murong Qingqing was anxious. Li Hongxiu frowned. She had not come out yet. The people around were also whispering. Did Lin Wuti die in there? That was impossible. What do you know? Let me tell you. Something big has happened. Soon the news spread. You mean Lin Wuti defeated Yu Quan? Heavens! Is he already on the pilgrim list? The news was like a clap of thunder, shocking the surrounding experts. This was really earth-shattering news. To be honest, they knew that some of the young geniuses were going to make it to the pilgrim list, but they did not expect it to be so fast. And the first to succeed was Lin Wuti. But where was he now? Could he have been killed by the sacred venerables? Many people were whispering. The leader of the Green Hill clan also looked at the 9 sacred venerables. Fellow Taoists, do you know where young Master Lin is? The sacred venerables said, How would we know about that kid? Could it be that you're suspecting that we've made a move? Humph, why would we attack a young junior? Many people's mouths twitched when they heard this. They did not believe it because the sacred venerables of the great desolate mansion did attack him. It was just that they did not succeed. They waited anxiously and found that Lin Xian had not come out. What was going on? Murong Qingqing wanted to go back again, but she was told that she could not. They could only wait here. Humph, maybe he was already dead inside. Yu Quan smiled sinisterly. He desperately wanted Lin Xian to die. A person with his personality was too arrogant. It was impossible for him to go far. Wan Jianni snorted. Many people heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian's strength terrified them. It was good that he was dead. Impossible. How could Lin Gongzi be dead? Qing Shan and the others shook their heads in disbelief. Previously, Lin Xian had helped them a lot. They didn't want such a person to fall. Clan leader, let's wait a little longer. Don't close the Green Mountain world yet. The leader of the Green Mountain clan nodded. He didn't want anything to happen to him inside. Just like that, everyone waited for another half a month. As a result, many people left. They felt that Lin Xian would never come out again. At the same time, in the 9th Heaven Palace of the Sunset Peak, Lin Xian slowly opened his eyes. His surroundings were still dark. He rubbed his head and felt that he could not differentiate between dream and reality because he had a very, very long dream. Dreaming for 1,000 years. What day is it today? Lin Xian pushed open the door of the palace and walked out. He found that there was no one around. Did they all leave? Lin Xian also walked out. He was about to leave. However, at this moment he was stunned. My cultivation. He carefully sensed, and in the next moment his eyes widened. Was he at the middle stage of the 6th heaven? Now he had broken through again. From the early stage of the small saint to the middle stage. It was really too unbelievable. He just had a dream and his cultivation broke through? Could it be that a few hundred years had passed? Lin Xian frowned. He didn't know because no one could tell him. Thinking of this, he couldn't wait to go back. He wanted to find someone to ask how long had passed. When he came out of the Sunset Peak, he found that the Green Mountain world was empty. There were also some natives of the Green Mountain clan and some ordinary people. There were no more powerful saints like him. At this moment, he felt a huge force pushing him out. When he appeared again, he found that he had already left the Green Mountain world. Brother Xian, you finally came out. Murong Qingqing pounced forward and threw herself into Lin Xian's arms. She was about to cry. Li Hongxiu also came up. What did he experience? Why did he come out so late? On the other side, Qing Shanyue and the others also came. Lin Xian asked, How long has it been? Kid, are you stupid? You came out 2 months later than us. It's only been 2 months. Lin Xian was shocked. This news also spread out in an instant. Countless figures rushed over. You're not dead yet. After Yuquan sensed it, his face became incomparably ugly. You're not dead? Fine, I'll personally kill you. Wan Jianyi snorted coldly. Mo Xiao, Qin Xianer, and the others were also surprised. Yes, is Fong still alive? Master Spirit Turtle's face was cold. He had lost to this kid in political formation before. He didn't expect him to still be alive. The 9 Saint Venerables also came. Only Lin Wuti came out. Where's that little Taoist? They found that the Green Mountain world was completely closed. The other party didn't appear. What's going on? Let me ask you, have you seen a little Taoist? The Saint Venerable of Wan Jianyi walked out and asked coldly. The other Saint Venerables also had cold expressions. Lin Xian said with a smile, What little Taoist? I don't know. Then why did you come out so late? Do I have to listen to you when I come out? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. How dare you? How dare you speak to us in such a tone? These Saint Venerables were unhappy. What? Are you trying to flaunt your seniority in front of me? I won't fall for it. Lin Xian didn't care at all. The surrounding people were stunned. Heavens, Lin Wuti was too arrogant. He didn't even give face to the Saint Venerables. You're courting death. Looks like I have to teach you a lesson. The Saint Venerable of Thunder God walked out. The other Saint Venerables also had cold expressions. What do you want? The elders of the Green Mountain race walked over. The Green Mountain race's leader said, Lin Gongzi is our Green Mountain race's guest. I don't want him to be threatened here. Damn it. The Saint Venerables had ugly expressions. The others were also in an uproar. They didn't expect Lin Xian to have such a trump card. The Green Mountain race was willing to protect him. At this time, Mo Xiao walked up and said, Elder, I found a problem. When we were at the Clear Moon Lake, we met Lin Wuti. At that time, his array formation skills had already reached perfection, and that little Taoist was also an expert in array formations. Do you think there's a connection between the two? The Saint Venerable of the Yellow Spring Hall's eyes lit up. The other Saint Venerables also said, Is it true? Mo Xiao said, Of course it's true. Yu Quan was there back then, and more importantly, Master Spirit Turtle was there too. Even with Master Ling Gui's attainments, he couldn't compare to that kid. He couldn't even compare to 1/10 of that kid. We thought it was strange. What? Master Spirit Turtle couldn't even compare to 1/10 of that kid? The Saint Venerables were stunned. They knew how powerful Master Spirit Turtle's formations were. When they thought about the little Taoist's heaven-defying formations, they almost went crazy. In an instant, countless eyes were fixed on Lin Xian. Kid, tell us, why are you so powerful? What's your relationship with that little Taoist? Are the two of you the same person? The surrounding people were confused. Who was that little Taoist? How could he attract so much attention from the Saint Venerables? However, those who knew the situation felt their scalps go numb. They knew that the little Taoist had easily trapped the 9 great sacred sovereigns and had even slapped their faces like crazy. As expected, the news quietly spread, and it spread further and further. The surrounding people were stunned. You're saying that a Taoist kicked the Saint Venerables and robbed the 9 Saint Venerables? Chang Tianya, who is that? You're saying that he's Lin Wuti? These people were crazy. Didn't they say that Lin Wuti had just entered the pilgrim list? How could he compete with the 9 Saint Venerables? Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect these people to be so smart. They guessed it was him so quickly. However, he would never admit it. He said, What little Taoist? I don't know. Are you trying to frame me? Do you have proof that I'm the little Taoist? So what if my formations are powerful? That Spirit Turtle is only a mid-stage minor saint. What's wrong with my formations being stronger than his? However, you're saying that I trapped the 9 Saint Venerables. Have you seen a minor saint trap 9 Saint Venerables? Have you been struck by lightning? Indeed, the surrounding people didn't believe it either. Why did it sound like a legend? The sharp-tongued kid made the Saint Venerables go crazy. They had to figure it out. Yu Quan said, "It's simple. We'll know when we capture him and collect his soul." That's right. Saint Venerable Huangming of the great desolate mansion walked out. "Kid, if you're innocent, let us collect your soul." Chapter 4092. As soon as he said that, Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu's expressions changed. Lin Xian also frowned. "Soul search? Who do you think you are? You think you can take my soul? What a joke! Everyone's soul contained endless secrets. How could they let others search and take their souls? Why, are you feeling guilty?" Huang Ming snorted coldly. "I find you more and more suspicious." The Saint Venerables of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion walked up, and so did the Saint Venerables of the Demon City. They also wanted to take his soul. "Humph, don't go too far. Do you really think that the Green Mountain Tribe doesn't exist?" The leader of the Green Mountain Tribe walked over. "I said that Lin Gongzi is our distinguished guest. Whoever dares to touch him will be the enemy of the Green Mountain Tribe." The elders of the Green Mountain Tribe and the others all stood up, emitting a cold aura. The atmosphere between the two sides became more and more tense. The 9 Saint Venerables' expressions were ugly. They didn't act rashly, but they wouldn't give up either. At that moment, Mo Xiu said, "Elder, you don't want me to fight, right?" As soon as he said that, he attracted the attention of countless people. Mo Xiu said, "He's already on the pilgrim list. It's not too much for me to fight him." "Lin Wudi, do you dare to fight with me? If you lose, be a good boy and let us take your soul." Was there going to be another battle? And it was a battle on the pilgrim list. Everyone became excited. They didn't see the battle between Lin Xian and Yu Quan, which disappointed them greatly. However, now that they could see the battle between Mo Xiu and Lin Xian, they felt that it was worth it to come here. "What do you think? Kid, do you dare to fight me?" Mo Xiu looked as if victory was in his hands. Lin Xian said, "What if you lose? What do you plan to do?" "Humph, I can't lose." Seeing Lin Xian's contemptuous smile, Mo Xiu gritted his teeth and said, "If I lose, I'll let you go. How about that?" "You won and lost, but you didn't take any loss. How could there be such a thing in the world? I won't participate in such a battle. You don't dare? Fine, if I lose, I'll let you take my soul." Seeing that the other party was unwilling to accept his request, Mo Xiu said such words. "What's the point of taking your soul?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. His eyes were filled with killing intent. "If you want to fight me, sure. If I lose, I'll let you collect my soul. If you lose, you die. What do you think? Do you dare?" When these words came out, everyone was stunned. Losing meant death. Mo Xiu's expression also changed. "Brat, don't go overboard." Exactly. The saints of the Acheron Hall roared in anger. This was unfair. Lin Xian smiled. "Fairness? What fairness? You guys are the ones who are begging pretty face to fight me. If you guys aren't willing, then forget it. I don't want to fight with you." The people of the Acheron Hall were so angry that they vomited blood. Even the holy venerate of the Acheron Hall had an ugly expression. Indeed, they were the ones who started this battle. The other party didn't want to fight in the first place. If the conditions were fair, why would the other party make a move? "Bet with him. I don't believe he can beat you." "What?" Mo Xiu was somewhat hesitant. The Lord said, "Why? You don't trust me?" "I know." Mo Xiu nodded. Indeed, what was he worried about? His strength was higher than Yu Quan's. How could he lose to the other party? And even if he lost, so what? If he lost, he still had the holy venerate on his side who could save his life. Could the other party kill him in the hands of the holy venerate? In other words, he wouldn't be in any danger if he lost. Thinking of this, he smiled. "Good boy, I'll do as you wish." The surrounding people were in an uproar. Were they really going to make a big bet? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Words are no guarantee. Let's sign the life and death contract. He waved his hand, and the endless ground formed a stone tablet. Lin Xian wrote down the conditions and then signed his name. He looked at Mo Xiao and said, "Write your name with blood." "Humph! You still can't escape after playing so many tricks." Mo Xiao snorted coldly. Since he had already decided, he did not hesitate. He bit his finger and wrote his name with blood. Lin Xian handed the stone tablet to the leader of the Green Hill tribe and said, "Senior, keep it for me in case they go back on their words later." "All right, Lin Wudi, the life and death contract had been signed. Let's start." "As you wish." Lin Xian walked out. When the people of the Green Hill tribe saw this scene, they knew that they couldn't stop it. So he said, "Come with me. Everyone, please follow me. We have a specialized ancient arena." The group of people walked toward the ancient arena in a grandiose manner. Countless discussions sounded. They were all talking about who would win and who would lose. Yu Quan gritted his teeth. Although he was unwilling, he knew that Mo Xiao's strength was above his. Wan Jinni and the others thought the same. On the other side, Morong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu said, "Brother Xian, is there no problem?" Lin Xian nodded. There was no problem. There was no suspense in this battle. Before breaking through, he could defeat Yu Quan. Now that he had broken through, he could. Even if Mo Xiao was stronger than Yu Quan, he didn't care. Not long after, they arrived at the ancient arena. The surrounding people were watching. Lin Xian and Mo Xiao stood up. The ancient arena shone brightly, enough to support their battle. "Brat, you're too arrogant. Do you think that you're my opponent after defeating Yu Quan? You don't understand the pilgrim roll. Every ranking on the pilgrim help roll has a huge difference in strength. My ranking is higher than Yu Quan's. You're no match for me. More importantly, I've also found some incredible treasures in the Green Hill world." "Do you think I didn't get anything?" He snorted coldly as he said this. The law of yellow spring surged from his body, and a violent and terrifying aura spread out. The surrounding people trembled when they were swept by the aura. What a terrifying aura! Yu Quan's pupils shrunk. This aura is very close to the late minor saint realm. His cultivation base has improved. It seems like he won't be long from breaking through. He was really envious. The others were also screaming. Yu Quan's strength was much stronger than when he had entered. Very good. The Saint Venerable of the Yellow Spring Hall smiled. Let's see how Yu Quan will die this time. Not good. Morong Qingqing. Li Hongxiu became nervous. Qing Shanyu and the others were also worried. Even the people of Qing Shanwu were frowning. They decided that no matter what the result of this battle was, they had to save Lin Xian's life. "Kid, how are you? Are you feeling desperate? I'm only a step away from the late minor saint realm. What do you have to fight with me?" Mo Xiao laughed proudly. "Is this the reason why you're so arrogant? You're really pitiful. Do you think you're the only one who broke through?" Lin Xian took a step forward and unleashed his power, which also swept out in all directions. The surrounding people were stunned at first. Then they screamed wildly. "Mid-minor saint? Lin Wudi is already a mid-minor saint? That was impossible. Wasn't he an early minor saint when he entered? He actually broke through in there." Countless screams resounded. What kind of fortune did he get? How is this possible? Mo Xiao's pupils shrunk. He thought he had gotten enough fortune. Who would have thought that Lin Xian got more than him? Lin Xian actually broke through? Wan Jinni and the others frowned. If they didn't remember wrongly, Lin Xian was just a fifth heavenly saint when they first met. But now, Lin Xian was already a mid-minor saint after such a short period of time. This was really unbelievable. His cultivation speed was simply heaven-defying. Chapter 4093. That's great. Brother Xian's cultivation base has broken through. Morong Ching Ching. They heaved a sigh of relief. The people of Green Hill Clan smiled. Lin Xian sneered. Do you still think you're my opponent? Kid, don't be too arrogant. So what if you've broken through? My strength is not something you can imagine. At this point, Mo Xiu roared angrily. With a slap, the boundless laws of the Yellow Springs surged, turning into a giant Yellow Springs python that charged forward. The void kept shattering and countless people screamed. The Yellow Spring python instantly arrived in front of Lin Xian. Buzz! Lin Xian waved his hand. The 5 elemental law intertwined, forming a 5 elemental mountain in front of him. The two collided, and the terrifying power intertwined. The terrifying sound was like 10,000 claps of thunder. The pupils of the people who were watching the battle instantly shrank. So strong! These two people were really too strong, far surpassing them. What made them even more shocked was that Mo Xiu's attack was easily blocked by Lin Xian. It was really unbelievable. I didn't believe it when I heard that Lin Xian defeated Yu Quan. Now, it seems that I really believe it. It seems that Lin Wuti has grown to such a terrifying extent. The surrounding people exclaimed in surprise. However, the faces of the people of Yellow Spring Palace darkened. They began to worry about Mo Xiu. This was something that had never happened before. Humph! Looking at the surging Yellow Spring Law, Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a cold light. Mo Xiu! Let me have a taste of your Yellow Springs, Hall's ultimate techniques. Saying that, he suddenly waved his hand. The terrifying light and the 5 elemental law suddenly surged. It directly suppressed the Yellow Spring Python. Boom! 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 The vast 5 elemental law surged between heaven and earth as if it could suppress everything. Even the little saints of the older generation sucked in a cold breath when they sensed the aura. On the opposite side, Mo Xiu also frowned. It seemed that the strength of the opponent had really increased. Compared to the last time they met, it was much stronger. Humph! But very quickly he snorted coldly, and a wisp of piercingly cold, killing intent appeared in his eyes. He would not let the other party walk out alive today. With a stomp of his foot, endless Yellow Springs water surged beneath his feet, forming the Yellow Springs monstrous beast, roaring around. The scene was incomparably spectacular. The rift cracked open as a terrifying forest of bones crawled out from it. I am in charge of the Yellow Springs. What can you use to fight me? Mo Xiu snorted coldly. The light in his eyes became even brighter. Forming hand seals, the skeletal creatures let out heaven-shaking roars. The surrounding water of the Yellow Springs also gathered madly, forming a Yellow Springs spear. Blood dripped from the spear, making people want to vomit. The aura above was too terrifying, causing the surrounding people to scream. This was the Yellow Springs' ultimate technique. It seemed that the ink cultivator was really planning to end the battle quickly. He was not holding back at all. Wang! As Mo Xiu's palm fell, the terrifying Yellow Spring spear also pierced down. The surrounding void continued to shatter. In an instant, he arrived in front of Lin Xian. The Yellow Spring water above could corrode everything. The law of Sunday, Lin Xian roared angrily. Endless law of sun surged, forming one golden crow after another at his fingertips. With terrifying divine fire, they flew into the sky and collided with the Yellow Springs spear. Boom! 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 A terrifying sound rang out, and the law fragments spread out in all directions. The void in the arena was shattered. Fortunately, the ancient defensive array in the arena allowed people to watch the battle safely. Otherwise, many people would have been smashed to pieces by the aftermath of the energy. Mo Xiu's face turned cold when he saw the Yellow Springs spear blocked by his opponent. However, his hand movements did not slow down at all. After the first Yellow Springs spear, the second and third Yellow Springs spear quickly formed. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of Yellow Springs spears enveloped the arena. They were densely packed, as if opening a passage to hell. Each Yellow Springs spear could easily kill a small saint. With so many of them descending together, it was really powerful to the extreme. The surrounding saints felt their scalps go numb. They were afraid that even if they joined forces, they would not be able to withstand such an attack. Was this the strength of the geniuses on the pilgrim list? There were not many people below the Saint Venerables who could contend against them. This Emo Xiao was not a true late small saint, but he was already so terrifying. No one knew how terrifying the power of a true late small saint like Wan Zhenyi and Chao Tiansheng would be once they unleashed their full strength. Would they be able to contend against Saint Venerables? Destroy! On the arena, Emo Xiao roared. Countless Yellow Springs, spears fell from the sky. Mountains and rivers were shattered, and heaven and earth lost their color. Nothing could stop it. Even the arena was trembling violently. Not good. Qing Shanyue and the others were already pale with fright when they saw the scene. Even Murong Qingxing and Li Hongxiu were extremely nervous. Such an attack was enough to threaten anyone. Lin Xian's face was also pale. Facing such a violent attack, he snorted coldly and moved quickly. Kill! With a roar, Lin Xian did not dodge. Instead, he waved his fists and attacked rapidly. Nine Sun's divine fist. He continuously threw out thousands of fists. Each of his fists seemed to have turned into a sun. From the ground to the sky, they clashed with the Yellow Springs spears that filled the sky. Boom! 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 Terrifying sounds rang out continuously, causing the crowd to tremble. Not good. Quickly seal your hearing. Some of the weaker saints quickly sealed their hearing. Otherwise, the continuous rumbling would cause them to bleed and explode. The experts of the older generation were also shocked. The collision lasted for a long time. The front was shrouded by various kinds of energy, making it impossible to see clearly. Only the rumbling sounds could be heard. Wan, Zhenyi, Yuquan, Qin Xianer, and the others were frowning. They were powerful enough to see through the light of the laws and see the battle inside. This was also the reason why they were frowning. They could see that Emo Xiao did not have the upper hand. Lin Xian had completely blocked the underworld spear, which was worth over 10 million. The rumbling lasted for a long time before it slowly dissipated. When the crowd saw the phenomenon disappear, they were stunned. They knew that Lin Xian had completely blocked it. Lin Xian sneered. Is that all you have? You can't get any better? If that's all, you can die in peace. Kid, you're too arrogant. I was just testing you. Emo Xiao's expression was cold. In the next moment, the Yellow Springs law on his body intertwined again, forming the Yellow Springs diagram. The aura on his body became even more terrifying. Boom! The Yellow Springs diagram continued to expand, enveloping the entire arena. A ghastly energy began to spread through the air. The surrounding people could not see it. They could only see the Yellow Springs water. Many people gasped. Could it be the Yellow Springs sacred region? Chapter 4094. Then wouldn't Lin Wudi be in danger? Cries of surprise could be heard once again. Lin Xian also frowned. He felt that his 9 yang divine fire, sun law, and divine body were all suppressed. The surrounding aura made him extremely uncomfortable. Whoosh! Emo Xiao walked over on the Yellow Springs water. How is it? Do you feel the suppression? This is my Yellow Springs sacred realm. I am the ruler here. Your laws have been suppressed by me. You are no match for me. If is that so? Then I will break your Yellow Springs diagram. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He blasted upwards. He directly destroyed a part of the world. The Yellow Springs water nearby exploded. However, only the Yellow Springs water was swallowed, but no light was revealed. Useless brat. Do you think this is a simple Yellow Springs diagram? You are too laughable. This is a sacred artifact. Do you think I am not prepared to deal with you? The people outside also exclaimed. What was going on? Could they not see it? Most people could not see the situation inside. It should not be. The older generation figures were also puzzled. At this moment, Qin Xianer exclaimed. It was not an ordinary Yellow Springs diagram. He used a sacred artifact. Could it be the legendary Yellow Springs gourd? When these words were said, many people exclaimed. The Yellow Springs gourd was a very terrifying treasure of heaven and earth. Legend had it that the gourd grew in the Yellow Springs. It was very strange. The gourd itself was a powerful weapon. It was said that the gourd contained the Yellow Springs diagram. This kind of Yellow Springs gourd was very rare. Only the Yellow Springs Hall could obtain it. Even in the Yellow Springs Hall, there were only a few. They did not expect Emoshio to have one. Moreover, he was using it now. Damn it. Li Hongxiu gritted her teeth. Too despicable. Morong Qingqing also said that if Brother Xian was in any danger, he would definitely not let the Yellow Springs Hall go. Humph. The Yellow Springs Hall saint sneered. The two of them had signed the life and death agreement. Their lives were up to fate. What were they worried about? Lin Wuti naturally dared to fight. He had to be prepared to be killed. But don't worry, Emoshio knew what he was doing. He would not kill Lin Wuti directly. He would cripple that brat and then take his soul to see if he was really that little Taoist. If he is, I will personally torture him for 10,000 years so that he will never be reincarnated. This killing intent shook the heavens and earth, causing everyone to want to kneel down and worship it. What should he do? Was the patriarch going to make a move? The leader of the Green Mountain tribe also frowned. The eyes of the chief of Green Mountain flickered. He is a holy venerate and can see through everything. He said that there is no rush and that there is no need for us to take action for now. He could see the situation inside. Inside, Emoshio had a smug smile on his face. In his opinion, Lin Xian should have been terrified or even begging for mercy, but he didn't. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth also curled up into a smile. A saint artifact? Sure enough, he had some tricks up his sleeve, but it was too despicable. Do you think that by trapping me here, you can succeed and defeat me? You are too naive. That's good too. Outsiders won't be able to easily interfere with the Yellow Springs Life Saint artifact. If I kill you, your elders won't be able to stop me. Hearing those arrogant words, Emoshio's face darkened completely. You are still so stubborn even when you are about to die. It seems that you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Lin Xian wasn't afraid of being sealed by a saint artifact at all because he had full confidence in his own strength. Moreover, he also wanted to see how strong he was after his cultivation breakthrough. Buzz! Thinking of this, a piercing cold light appeared in his eyes. The sun law on his body disappeared and was replaced by a pitch-black law, the law of death. Did Emoshio think that he could suppress him just because he was cold? What a joke. He had Tai Chi, the combination of yin and yang. He wasn't afraid of fighting in any situation. Emoshio on the other side was also on the move. Endless yellow runes spread out from his body and covered it. An extremely cold aura was emitted from his body. Yellow Springs body. This was a terrifying physique. Obviously, Emoshio also cultivated a special physique. This was not innate, but something that was cultivated later in life. For example, Lin Xian's 9-yang divine physique. However, the 9-yang divine physique was strong and firm, while the Yellow Springs body should be cold. Kid, it's time to show you the power of my Yellow Springs body. After using the Yellow Springs body, Emoshio felt an endless power. Like a demon, he smiled coldly. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Yellow Springs body? It seems that you also have a special physique. However, you are no match for the divine physique. Therefore, I can kill you with the law of death alone. The law of death in Lin Xian's hand condensed into the death demon blade. A terrifying aura of death spread out and collided with the law of death. It formed a thunderous sound. Feeling the law of death, Emo Shio frowned slightly. To be honest, although they were both cold energy, the law of death was indeed unique. He felt the vitality in his body being drained. Emo Shio shouted coldly. The Yellow Springs body completely erupted and blocked the law of death. It's useless. The law of death can't beat my law of death. As he spoke, his body suddenly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was behind Lin Xian. He raised his right leg and swept it out, wanting to kick Lin Xian into two. The void was instantly shattered by the kick. Lin Xian's clothes were also trembling nonstop. Lin Xian was surprised. Emo Shio's speed was so fast that it was close to teleportation. However, he knew that Emo Shio didn't know any spatial divine ability. The reason why Emo Shio was so fast was because this was the Yellow Springs body. Emo Shio could fuse with the Yellow Springs body to appear in any place quickly. While thinking, he swung his saber. The terrifying death demon blade was draped over Emo Shio's leg. It forced Emo Shio back. Sparks flew and cracks spread all over. Emo Shio felt that his entire leg was numb. However, he was after all a top genius who had fought with late minor saints countless times. He could be said to be very experienced. After his attack failed, he clawed at Emo Shio. Along with his claw, the Yellow Springs body above him cracked, and a huge white bone claw descended. It merged with Emo Shio's claw. Its power skyrocketed. Even a late minor saint wouldn't dare to resist. Buzz. Lin Xian relied on his super strong physique and threw out a punch. Then the two quickly exchanged blows. Every blow was earth-shattering, making one's scalp tingle. In the blink of an eye, the two had exchanged more than 100 blows. The surrounding void was completely shattered and couldn't heal at all. Damn it. Emo Shio's face turned a little ugly. He took out the Yellow Springs gourd and used the Yellow Springs body. This showed that he wanted to end the battle quickly. However, after more than 100 blows, not only did he not do anything to Emo Shio, but his whole body was also numb. His movements weren't as fast as before. He didn't dare to imagine what would happen if the battle continued. How could it be? This was his territory. Damn brat, you've completely angered me. Go to hell. As he spoke, he formed a seal with his palms. The Yellow Springs gourd rolled violently. It intertwined and formed a small Yellow Springs diagram. Rumor had it that the Yellow Springs gourd grew in the Yellow Springs hell and could form the Yellow Springs Tao diagram. Obviously, this was the Yellow Springs Tao diagram. Lin Xian felt a chill down his spine. This was already enough to threaten his physique. This Yellow Springs gourd was indeed too extraordinary. He didn't dare to be careless. In an instant, he used the space divine ability and dodged instantly. Buzz. In the next moment, he appeared outside the Yellow Springs gourd. Did he come out? Countless people screamed. What was going on? Wasn't the Yellow Springs gourd super powerful? Couldn't he come out? Could it be that Lin Wuti had broken the Yellow Springs gourd? Many people screamed. The Saint Venerable of the Yellow Springs Hall also frowned. At this moment, Gu Feng snorted coldly. The space divine ability, void escape. Damn it, this is a space divine ability. Chapter 4095. What? Space divine ability? Hearing this, the surrounding people screamed. Lin Wuti actually knew space divine ability? Wait, Gu Feng's pupils shrank. He remembered that the one who knew space divine ability was that little Taoist. Why did Lin Wuti know it too? Could it be that Lin Wuti was that little Taoist? The others also reacted, especially the Saint Venerables. They did not hide the killing intent in their eyes. Damn brat, I will kill you with my own hands. Saint Venerable Huangming and the Saint Venerables of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion were furious. Oh no! Is the Saint Venerable going to intervene? The people of the Green Hill clan were also very nervous. The Green Hill clan leader was ready to attack. Lin Xian sneered. "Old thing, don't you know the rules? Brat, you are that little Taoist. Stop hiding. Who told you that? Who said that I came out with space divine ability? That was clearly a space divine ability. Otherwise, how could you come out?" Gu Feng also said coldly. He also hoped that Lin Wuti would be killed. He did not want the Gu clan's divine ability to be in the hands of outsiders. "Look at what that is." Lin Xian pointed at the yellow spring gourd. Everyone looked carefully. At first, they did not feel anything, but in the next moment, their pupils shrank. They realized that a crack had appeared on the yellow spring gourd. Then a huge crack appeared. Endless yellow spring water soared into the sky. How could it be? The gourd was broken. Could it be that it was not a space divine ability? In an instant, many people looked at Gu Feng. Gu Feng snorted and did not say anything. He knew that Lin Wuti was trying his best to hide it. It was useless for him to say anything. The people of the Acheron Hall were even more shocked. Was the yellow spring gourd broken? How could it be? That was an extremely terrifying divine artifact. And it was a divine artifact that was nurtured by the heavens. Lin Xian snorted. He had already expected that he would be recognized when he used the void escape. Therefore, he directly used the great dragon sword soul to create a crack. In this way, even if the other party suspected him, they would have no evidence. Sure enough, the Saint Venerables of the Acheron Hall looked gloomy. Saint Venerable Huangming and the 10,000 Swords Pavilion Saint Venerables did not make a move. Murong Qingqing and the others were relieved. Within the yellow spring gourd, Mo Xiu's expression had indeed turned incomparably ugly. The other party had actually cut open his gourd. Damn it! With a roar, he rushed out of the crack. They quickly charged towards Lin Xian. The two of them fought again. This time the people around them saw it. Of course, they only saw a blurry image. Oh my God, Mo Xiu was actually fighting Lin Wuti in close combat. Didn't Lin Wuti have a divine body? Mo Xiu actually also cultivated the physique. Yellow Spring's body. Mo Xiu's physique was the Yellow Spring's physique, which was extremely cold. I wonder which of these two physiques is stronger. Everyone was talking about it. Lin Xian snorted coldly. It's time to end this. You're just SO. He felt that Mo Xiu's strength was strong, but it was also not that strong. Compared to Wan Jinyi, there was still a gap. After all, there was a gap of 1 level between them, so he was completely capable of dealing with it now. In the next moment, he activated the 9-yang divine body and used the Taiji diagram. He attacked with all his might. Boom! Boom! The battle between the two great physiques was incomparable, shaking heaven and earth. The surrounding people were also trembling when they saw this. After hundreds of moves, Lin Xian broke Mo Xiu's arm with a punch. The Yellow Spring's body was broken. Mo Xiu retreated and screamed crazily. Blood flowed, mixed with the Yellow Spring's water, and it was abnormally ferocious. I've said it before, you're not my match. There's only one outcome for challenging me, and that is death. How was that possible? The people from the Yellow Springs Hall were stunned. Was the Yellow Springs body broken? Their expressions were ugly. What kind of physique did the other party have? Mo Xiu stood up from the Yellow Springs water. The endless Yellow Springs water repaired his body, but his expression was incomparably cold. He had lost to the other party. He would not lose this battle. In the next moment, he waved his hand and pulled out a weapon from the Yellow Springs gourd. It was his weapon, the Yellow Springs trident. The Yellow Springs trident was incomparably black. When the attack landed, it was like a huge mountain pressing down. The front of the Yellow Springs trident was like a huge mountain. The 3 demons were constantly growing. Then they turned into a black dragon and pressed forward. It could be hard or soft. It was really a super powerful sacred artifact. Buzz, buzz, buzz! The black light was like a whip, instantly entangling Lin Xian. Die! With a roar, He crazily used his strength and immediately enveloped Lin Xian's body. It was a success. The people from the Yellow Springs Hall cheered, while the others gasped. However, some top experts frowned. And Mo Xiao also frowned because he realized that it was only Yin and Yang Qi. Was it a clone? That's right. Lin Xian walked out from the other side. At this moment, in addition to the laws, there was sword qi on his body, and in his hand, 36 golden sword shadows were circling. 36 golden battle swords were scattered in all directions, completely enveloping Mo Xiao. What was that? Tianya, he actually managed to refine this thing. He dared to use it. Wasn't he afraid of being hunted down by the Golden Crow clan? Was there a lack of people chasing after Lin Wuti? This kid probably didn't care at all. Exclamations sounded one after another, but everyone knew that this was a very terrifying sword formation. Kill! Mo Xiao felt the biting cold aura brought by the sword qi and didn't dare to be careless. He rushed over, and the Yellow Springs Dao diagram also followed, constantly attacking. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The Tai Chi diagram circled around him, constantly colliding with the Yellow Springs Dao diagram. The 36 swords charged towards Mo Xiao. These 36 battle swords were like fish in water in Lin Xian's hands. The laws of the sword erupted, and like 36 divine swords, pierced through everything. Mo Xiao fought with it, but he was instantly suppressed. Not long after, one of his arms was cut off. Mo Xiao roared, and the surrounding Yellow Springs water instantly repaired it. But after 3 moves, he was split in half by a sword. Then, his split body was pierced by the other battle swords. A miserable cry sounded, and Mo Xiao escaped into the Yellow Springs water. But it was still useless. The gap was too big. If Lin Xian hadn't broken through before, it might be very troublesome. But after his breakthrough, his strength had increased greatly. It was no problem for him to defeat Mo Xiao. As expected, Mo Xiao was beaten miserably. The scalps of the others went numb. They knew that Mo Xiao was done for. Another expert on the pilgrim rankings had been defeated by Lin Xian. How was it possible? How did he become so powerful? Yu Quan's body trembled when he saw this scene. He had wanted to take revenge before, but after seeing Mo Xiao's condition, he didn't even dare to think about it. Qin Xianer's face was also full of shock. She was stronger than Mo Xiao. However, she hadn't really become a late small saint. If she fought with him, would she have a chance of winning? After thinking about it, he felt that it was impossible, because he had used a charm technique before, and Mo Xiao didn't seem to fall for it. Could it be that only Wan Jinni and Chao Tianqing could suppress him? How long had it been? How had he grown to this extent? One had to know that when they were on planet Tianming, they didn't take him seriously at all. In their opinion, if he wanted to break into the pilgrim rankings, it would take at least 300 years, or even 500 years. But in such a short time, not only did he enter the pilgrim rankings, but he also defeated 2 experts on the pilgrim rankings. Chapter 4096. Damn it. The Netherworld Hall's Saint Venerable's expression became extremely ugly. To be honest, he never thought that Mo Xiao would lose. Moreover, he would lose to Lin Xian, ruining his previous plan. Mo Xiao, come back. He shouted coldly, not willing to let Mo Xiao embarrass himself anymore, because Mo Xiao was indeed very miserable now. Hearing this, Mo Xiao wanted to escape. However, Lin Xian's sword missed and blocked his way. You want to escape? Damn brat, how dare you stop me? Mo Xiao screamed crazily. The people of Netherworld Hall also roared. Let go of our young master, or you're dead. Are you guys crazy? He had signed a life and death agreement. If he lost, he would die. The life and death steel was still there. Lin Xian pointed into the distance and said, Then he controlled the 36 Heavenly Dipper swords with all his strength and attacked crazily. Ah! Emo Shio's body was instantly cut into pieces. He screamed in fear. "Elder, save me. I'm really scared." The surrounding people were also stunned. Is Lin Wudy going to kill him? Brat, the Netherworld Hall's Saint Venerable, was completely enraged. He would not allow Emo Shio to be killed. Therefore, a large hand swept across the sky, directly enveloping the entire ancient arena. "Fellow Taoist, you've crossed the line." The Qingshan martial clan's patriarch also snorted and punched out, blocking the terrifying palm. "Qingshan martial clan, how dare you stop me? Do you want to go against Netherworld Hall?" Emo Shio's situation was getting worse and worse. He could not help but roar. The Qingshan martial clan's patriarch laughed. "How would I dare to go against Netherworld Hall? However, we had a life and death agreement, so I hope you won't interfere." "Humph! What life and death agreement? I only know that Emo Shio is not on time today." He did not care at all and directly attacked. This time, he attacked with all his strength. He even took out his sacred weapon and broke through the defensive array below. "Emo Shio, run!" Emo Shio saw this scene and fled crazily. Lin Xian laughed. "How shameless! A dignified Saint Venerable is actually so shameless. Your Netherworld Hall's face is completely lost because of you. Brat, do you really think I don't dare to make a move? I'll teach you a lesson today." His other hand reached out to grab Lin Xian. Lin Xian instantly used Void Escape and appeared in another location. At the same time, another 12 swords split open Emo Shio's body, which had just healed. Void Escape. This time, it was a spatial divine ability. At this time, Gufeng roared. The other saint sovereigns heard this, and their eyes turned red. "You really are that little Taoist. Damn it! I'll make you wish you were dead." Holy Sovereign Huang Ming stepped forward. The myriad sword grid's Saint Venerables, the Thunder God City's Saint Venerables, and all the other Saint Venerables surrounded Lin Xian. The people around him almost fainted. Did Lin Wudy provoke so many holy sages? Heavens, I'm afraid I'm definitely going to die this time. Not good. The Green Mountain Race's expression changed drastically. They could fight against 1 or 2 Saint Venerables. However, when the 9 Saint Venerables joined forces, it was still a huge pressure for them. It would be very difficult for them to protect Lin Xian. "That's right, it's me. How was it? Did it feel good to be slapped in the face by me earlier on? Holy Sovereign Huangming, your head is really suitable to be a chair. And you, Myriad Sword Sect, thank you for your treasures." Lin Xian looked around and burst out laughing. This scene had the 9 Saint Venerables so angry that they vomited blood. Damn it! They had been slapped in the face by the other party for an entire month. They were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. "No matter who comes today, I'm going to kill you." Holy Sovereign Huangming was the first to strike. He was the one who had been tortured the most. Therefore, he had to kill the other party at all costs. The Myriad Sword Sect's Saint Venerables followed closely behind. He wanted to take back the Myriad Sword Sect. The 2 Saint Venerables struck out instantly. Their auras were extremely strong. At this moment, the Green Mountain Race's clan leader roared out and slapped out with both hands. The terrifying palm spread out, and the aura caused everyone to retreat frantically. Even Myriad Sword and the others retreated quickly, not daring to fight back. With so many Saint Venerables striking together, they could definitely destroy everything. Boom! Boom! The Green Mountain Race's clan leader was very strong. He managed to block the 2 attacks by himself. The Saint Venerables of the Great Desolate Mansion and Myriad Sword Sect were forced to retreat. Their expressions were extremely ugly. "Humph! How dare you behave so atrociously in our territory? Do you really think that the Green Mountain Race is easy to bully?" The Green Mountain Race's clan leader said coldly. The surrounding Saint Venerables of the Sacred City were stunned when they saw this scene. The Green Mountain Race's clan leader was too powerful. Could the Green Mountain Race's clan leader be a mid-stage or late-stage Saint Venerable? They were really shocked. Holy Sovereign Huangming and the myriad sword sect's Saint Venerables had cold expressions. They were emitting shocking killing intent. Everyone, let's join hands. The other 7 Saint Venerables nodded. Even Grandmaster Spirit, Turtle, stood out. The 10 of them stood in the air like 10 gods of war. This brat will definitely die today. Humph! Don't dig your own grave. A cold voice resounded between heaven and earth. The people of the Green Mountain Race trembled, and a trace of fear appeared in their eyes. Their clan leader was indeed powerful. However, when faced with 9 sacred venerables and a formation master, would he be able to contend against them? Even if they had other Saint Venerables, was it necessary to fall out with so many sacred cities for Lin Xian? Let's do it. The 3 of us will stop the Green Mountain Race's clan leader. The rest of you, capture that brat and tear him to pieces. A formation instantly formed between heaven and earth, enveloping the Green Mountain Race's clan leader. Saint White and the demon cities' Saint Venerables attacked, casting terrifying spells that enveloped the Green Mountain Race's clan leader. The other Saint Venerables rushed toward Lin Xian. Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu's expressions changed drastically. They wanted to rush over, but just the combined power of the Saint Venerables made it impossible for them to get close. Lin Xian's expression was also cold. He did not expect these Saint Venerables to be so despicable. They were actually so despicable as to team up. Now, he could only use the Grand Sage Tower to defend himself. Moreover, if he was really forced into a corner, he would use the Great Dragon Sword Soul to kill these Saint Venerables. However, if he did that, the price would be very high. After all, the Great Dragon Sword Soul was a bottomless pit. It absorbed too much energy and could not control it well. It would probably suck him dry. However, he could not care less about the current situation. His eyes shone with an extremely shocking light. He formed a seal with his palm, wanting to summon the Grand Sage Tower. However, at that moment a voice sounded, who said that the Green Mountain Race was digging our own grave. Following that, a terrifying aura spread out, instantly enveloping the entire world. What a terrifying aura! The surrounding saints' expressions changed. Juan, Jenny, Qin Xianer, and the others looked into the distance in fear. They looked in the direction of the Green Mountain Race. Did the Green Mountain Race still have hidden experts? They felt that the aura seemed to have surpassed that of a Saint Venerable. The 9 Saint Venerables' expressions also changed. They were shocked. That's impossible. That aura? How was that possible? Their bodies began to tremble. Chapter 4097. This aura that suddenly appeared was really too terrifying, so much so that it alarmed everyone. Even the 9 Saint Venerables were stunned. In the next moment, they felt the scene around them change drastically. There was an extremely terrifying sword light that split their divine abilities apart. They retreated frantically. In the next moment, they felt as if they had died thousands of times. But when they came back to their senses, nothing had happened. Their backs were already wet with sweat. What happened just now? Was it an illusion? Such a terrifying illusion technique. Just as everyone was shocked, an 8 or 9-year-old youth walked out from the depths of the Green Mountain Foot, who said that the Green Mountain clan was digging their own grave. The youth said indifferently. His voice was a little immature. Everyone was stunned. Even the patriarch of the Green Mountain clan couldn't fight against the 9 Saint Venerables. Could a young boy do it? The youth looked at Saint Venerable Huangming. Is that you? A strange light appeared in his eyes. In the next moment, Saint Venerable Huang Ming's body suddenly trembled. He actually knelt down with a plop and kept trembling. What was going on? Everyone was stunned. A Saint Venerable actually knelt down to a youth, and he could make him kneel with just a glance. What was going on? Even the people of the Qingshan clan were stunned. Wasn't this the young master of their clan? Previously, in order to treat this young master, they had used all kinds of methods. In the end, he was cured by Lin Xian. Since when did the young master of their clan possess such strength? Lin Xian also turned his head. When he saw the young master, his pupils suddenly shrank. The guess in his heart appeared again. Is that you? The young master looked at the Saint Venerable of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. The expression of the Saint of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion changed. Countless sword lights slashed out from his body, but in the next moment he crazily crashed into the ground. He looked like he had gone mad. Elders, the saints of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, seeing the scene, they rushed forward crazily. Soon, they were sent flying by the sword chi of the other party. They vomited large mouthfuls of blood. What was going on? Everyone was stunned. The other party only took 2 glances, and one Saint Venerable knelt down while the other went crazy. What kind of method was this? The other 7 Saint Venerables kept retreating. At this time, the Thunder God City's Saint Venerables seemed to have discovered something and screamed crazily. He pointed to the front, unable to speak clearly. The pupils of the 10,000 fiend cities, Holy Venerate, also constricted. You look so much alike. Who are you exactly? Was he the descendant of the Green Mountain Saint King? Or are you the Green Mountain Sage King? Now, they realized that the young man before them looked very similar to the Qingshan Sacred King. Although his age was different, his demeanor could not be hidden at all. They recognized him at a glance. What? Qingshan Saint King. This young man was the Qingshan Holy King. Impossible! The Qingshan Saint King was someone from tens of thousands of years ago. Even the great emperors couldn't have lived for that long. How could he still be alive? Many people felt their minds go blank at this moment. They had all gone crazy. As expected, Lin Xian was also spitting out saliva. He had already guessed this. However, he did not dare to be sure. He did not expect that these holy venerables would discover it as well. Now that you know who I am, do you still dare to behave atrociously in the territory of the Green Mountain clan? The little young master said indifferently. Did he actually admit it? He was really the Qingshan Sacred King. Everyone was shocked. The people of the Green Mountain clan were also stunned. Was this their ancestor? The Green Mountain clan's patriarch seemed to have known it long ago. He looked at the 9 holy venerables. Do you still want to attack Lin Gongzi? If so, don't blame us for being impolite. A cold voice resounded through the world. The 9 holy venerables' expressions became incomparably ugly. A saint king from tens of thousands of years ago had actually walked out alive at this moment. It was really shocking. It seemed that it was impossible to kill Lin Wudi today. If they killed him again, it would be a problem whether they could walk out alive. Immediately, the Holy Venerate of the Thunder God City said, "We don't dare to. Sorry for disturbing you." The Holy Venerate of the 10,000 Fiend City instantly soared into the sky. The other Holy Venerables also left one after another, because this matter was too strange. Wan, Jenny, Gu Feng, Qin Xianer, and the others also felt their hair stand on end. The 9 Holy Venerables left just like that. Naturally, they did not dare to stay any longer. Mo Xiu also fled. However, at this moment, an extremely terrifying ray of light burst out from Lin Xian's eyes. He unleashed the great dragon sword soul. It turned into a long rainbow and instantly pierced through Mo Xiu's body, shattering his soul. Ah! With a miserable cry, Mo Xiu's star soul was destroyed. Yu Quan was so shocked that he even trembled in fear. Wan, Jenny, Gu Feng, and the others' pupils shrank. He attacked. The other party actually killed Mo Xiu directly. His soul was destroyed. This method was too ruthless. What was that dragon shadow just now? The holy venerables were also stunned. Among them, the holy venerables of the great desolation mansion roared crazily, "Kid, you're courting death." He wanted to attack, but in the next moment he felt an extremely terrifying aura surging towards him. He fled crazily. The surrounding people were all stunned. A holy venerables fled just like that, not daring to fight back at all. Moreover, Amo Xiao was killed in front of the 9 holy venerables just like that. It was really shocking. The little young master sighed. In the next moment, a dreamy ray of light streaked across the sky and enveloped everyone. Don't leave behind any memories in my dream. He wanted to erase all memories of him. At this point, the eyes of those people turned blank. Even the 9 holy venerables seemed to let out a miserable cry. In the next moment, the ray of light disappeared. The 9 holy venerables were puzzled. What just happened? Damn it, why couldn't they remember? The surrounding people were the same. Even Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu looked confused. The only person who was not affected was the Qingshan clan's clan leader. The other person was Lin Xian. The others did not understand. Although the 9 holy venerables did not understand what was going on, they had a feeling in their hearts that they could not stay in this place for long. This place was really too strange. They quickly retreated. The people of the holy city had also forgotten what had just happened. They did not know about the Qingshan sacred king. However, when they saw the holy venerables leaving, they also fled. In an instant, only a few people were left in the area. The others were from the Qingshan clan. Clan leader, what happened? These people had blank looks on their faces. It's nothing. Those people did not want to go against the Qingshan clan, so they left. All right, let's disperse. The surrounding people dispersed one after another. Lin Gongzi invited him over. The Qingshan clan's clan leader invited Lin Xian over. Lin Xian said to Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu, "The 2 of you, go to the main hall and wait for me. I have some things to do." After saying that, he left with the clan leader. When he returned to the secret room, the little prince had also returned. The Qingshan clan leader was also in the secret room. There were only the 3 of them. The Qingshan clan leader said, "Lin Gongzi, don't worry. There are layers of formations here and a layer of dreams. No one can investigate this place." The little prince turned around, and a smile appeared on his young face. "You seem to have a lot of questions." Lin Xian nodded. He said, "Senior, are you really the Qingshan sacred king?" "Yes, I am." The little prince nodded. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. It was too inconceivable. It was one thing for him to guess, but it was another thing for the other party to answer it personally. How was that possible? Lin Xian felt that it was unbelievable. One had to know that the Qingshan sacred king was someone from tens of thousands of years ago. A sacred king could not have lived for so long. "Do you want to ask me why I am still alive now?" Lin Xian nodded after hearing that. This might be the other party's secret, so he did not dare to ask. He did not expect the other party to take the initiative to bring it up. The Qingshan sacred king smiled. No one in this world could live for tens of thousands of years. However, some people could use special methods to continue living. Chapter 4098. What did that mean? Lin Xian was stunned. The Qingshan sacred king said that I am no longer myself. You can treat me as a reincarnation. Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. Reincarnation. No wonder the Qingshan sacred king looked like a child now. Everything made sense now. Could it be that the senior had retained all his memories and divine powers? This was what shocked him the most. He had seen the concept of reincarnation before, but shouldn't he have forgotten everything? He didn't expect the Qingshan sacred king to retain his memories. The Qingshan sacred king said that this is related to the nomological laws that I cultivate. I did forget, but I found them again. It's just that I'm still very weak now. I'm not at my peak. Therefore, I have to hide in the dark and not expose my identity. This is also why I erased the memories of those people. I also erased the memories of your two companions. Therefore, I hope that you can help me protect this secret." Lin Xian nodded, but he was puzzled. Why didn't the senior erase his memories? Was it just because I cured the senior? But that shouldn't be the case. Yes, it's because you cured me. You let me know that we're similar people. So I'll tell you, one day we'll fight side by side. Similar people fighting side by side. Lin Xian was shocked. Indeed, the other party had been cursed before. Not to mention cultivating. Even surviving was a problem. And he had been sealed by the black beam. Could it be that all of this was related? Was there a mastermind behind all of this? Lin Xian suddenly remembered that when he was on planet Tianming, the bronze emissary said that he was abandoned by the heavens. Moreover, the black beam had reappeared. Then, were the people who were sealed and even cursed related to the heavens behind the other party? Lin Xian increasingly felt that there was a mysterious and transcendent power in this universe. However, he still didn't know what it was. I can't tell you this for now, because you're still very weak. When you're strong, you'll naturally know. However, although I haven't recovered yet, there are still some things that I can do. If you need anything, you can inform me. Qingshan Sage King gave Lin Xian 2 tokens. He said that a token contained a dreamscape. If you are in danger, you can crush the token, and the dreamscape will appear, allowing you to escape from danger. The second jade pendant is for you to contact the leader of the Green Mountain Clan. If you have anything to tell him, I will know immediately. Lin Xian nodded. Thank you, Senior. Qingshan Saint King took out another leaf and said, I'll give you something called the Dream Leaf. It was an illusory world constructed using the law of dreams. You can cultivate inside. Although it can't increase your cultivation, it can allow you to fight any enemy you can imagine, increasing your combat experience. Lin Xian took the dream leaf. Then he left. It was the chief of the Green Mountain tribe who had brought him here. Azure Mountain's clan head said that the old ancestor said that those holy venerates would not let this matter rest. Hence, he told me to send young master away. Lin Xian found Morong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu. The 3 of them took the teleportation formation and left the Green Mountain tribe. The formation flickered. Lin Xian and the other 2 disappeared. When they reappeared, they were already in outer space. They were surrounded by the cold universe. The 3 of them immediately moved and flew into the distance. However, 3 days later, they were stopped by someone. Humph. Kid, do you think you can escape? Do you think you can do whatever you want with the protection of the Green Mountain tribe? Do you think the Green Mountain tribe can protect you in the universe now? 9 holy venerates appeared with their people and surrounded Lin Xian and the other 2. Great Master Spirit Turtle also walked out with a sinister smile. We have long guessed that you might have been teleported. Hence, we have set up many perception formations and finally found you. Hearing this, Lin Xian's face darkened. Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu's faces were very ugly. Damn it, these people really did not give up. Lin Xian sighed. To be honest, although he knew about the existence of the Green Mountain Saint King, he could not say it out loud. Otherwise, if he used the Saint King to threaten the 9 holy venerates, they would probably be scared witless. It seemed that he had to think of another way. Kid, kneel down obediently, and I will give you a quick death. Return the treasures you plundered from us, or I will make you suffer a fate worse than death. Cold voices rang out one after another. The people from the sacred city behind them were also crazy. They knew that Lin Xian was dead meat. With the 9 holy venerates working together, no one could save him, unless the peerless Saint King came personally. However, the Saint King usually would not interfere in such matters. Moreover, this place was very far from Peerless City. Even if the Saint King wanted to come, he would not be able to stop them immediately. Meanwhile, The 9 holy venerates could kill Lin Xian with a single glance. Humph! You bunch of old things think you can kill me for sure? Looks like the lesson I taught you before was not enough. Lin Xian snorted. He took out a token from his storage ring and crushed it. Do you really think you can pull off such petty tricks in front of us? The holy venerate of the thunder god snorted. He raised his hand and endless lightning intertwined, directly sealing Lin Xian and the other 2. Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu's bodies tensed up. They felt an indescribable pressure. This was the power of a holy venerate. It was completely above them. Lin Xian's body was also stiff. The lightning had numbed his entire body. He could not exert any strength at all. However, a cold light burst out from his eyes. His soul had improved. It had surpassed the level of a small saint. Although it was not a holy venerate, it could still move at this time. Therefore, his soul crushed the token. Damn kid! Do you not want to live anymore? Holy venerate Huang Ming roared, and the desolation Qi pressed down. He wanted to completely suppress Lin Xian. Not good. Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu's face changed drastically. Lin Xian's face was also cold. The great dragon, sword soul in his body, roared crazily. Streams of sword qi rushed out, extinguishing the terrifying pressure in the surroundings. In the next moment, Lin Xian retreated with Murong Qingqing and the other 2. He used the great sage pagoda to block the desolation qi. The 3 of them were forced back, and blood flowed from the corners of their mouths. You can actually block my attack. Holy venerate Huang Ming was surprised. It seems that you still have a top-grade holy artifact in your hands. Just nice it's mine. He was too surprised. This holy artifact could save the lives of 3 people. It must be of a very high grade. So what? The other party was too weak. Even if he had a supreme treasure, he would not be a match for them. The 9 holy venerates pressed forward. No matter what, they would not let the other party escape today. However, at this moment, a terrifying vortex appeared in the sky. Streams of terrifying demonic qi rushed out from inside. Who is it? Who dares to attack Lin Gongzi? Do you not want to live anymore? Between heaven and earth, a crazy roar sounded, and the surrounding void of the universe kept shattering. The 9 holy venerates frowned. Buzz, the holy venerate of the myriad sword pavilion. He slashed out with his sword. He wanted to shatter the vortex. However, a pitch-black palm came out from the vortex and directly grabbed the sword. In the next moment, terrifying demonic figures walked out from the vortex, one after another. There were a total of 18 figures, and each of them was extremely terrifying. 18 holy venerates. Their auras were too powerful, enough to sweep away everything. The moment they appeared, they surrounded the 9 holy venerates. Not good. The 9 holy venerates' faces changed instantly. They were horrified. The other party outnumbered them by twice. Damn it, it's the Heavenly Fiend tribe. Are they all out? Although the Heavenly Fiend tribe was not a holy city, it used to be a holy city. Their foundation was terrifying. The number of holy venerates they had was not small. However, to use 18 of them at once was simply unimaginable. What was the relationship between Lin Wudi and the Heavenly Fiend tribe? What could make the Heavenly Fiend tribe so crazy and reckless? Chapter 4099. A terrifying demonic aura also appeared on Lin Xian's body. He said, "Kill them all, leave none alive." Yes, the 18 demonic holy venerables nodded in unison. Then their demonic aura filled the sky. Kill. The 18 of them attacked together. Damn it, do you want to become enemies with us? We represent different holy cities. The holy venerables roared wildly. However, it was useless. The Sky Fiend tribe was originally demonic. Ruthless methods were vicious. In addition, in their eyes, Lin Xian was their grand elder, Whoever dared to touch their Grand Elder would be an enemy of the entire Sky Fiend tribe. They would kill their enemy at all costs. Therefore, the 18 demonic Holy Venerables attacked wildly. The entire void was completely destroyed. The 9 Holy Venerables screamed instantly. Although they were strong, it was 2 against 1. These people could not resist at all. Soon, someone was killed. The people from the holy cities were even more miserable. They did not have time to escape at all. The energy shock waves turned them into ashes. Lin Xian looked at this scene with a cold expression. He watched coldly from the space-time. 3 days later, this place was completely destroyed. It probably would not recover for thousands of years. There was holy blood everywhere. This was the blood of the Holy Venerables. The 9 Holy Venerables were completely killed. None of them escaped. Great Master Spirit Turtle was also killed. Even the elites from the holy cities were all killed. The surrounding sea of blood was filled with wails and howls. Of the 18 demonic Holy Venerables, 3 were dead, 5 were seriously injured, and the others were bleeding. To kill someone of the same level, even if it was 2 against 1, it was still a painful price to pay. Moreover, they had doubled their numbers. Otherwise, they might not have been able to kill these Holy Venerables. Every Holy Venerate had a powerful trump card. However, even if they had to give up their lives, they had to kill these 9 people. Old Master, we've already killed all of them. These people walked over and were extremely respectful. All right, go back and recuperate. I will call you if there is anything. The demonic vortex opened. These Holy Venerables quickly left. Seeing this scene, Murong Qingcheng and Li Hongxiu were stunned. Lin Xian was actually able to control so many demonic Tao Holy Venerates. This was too heaven-defying. Lin Xian looked at the 2 beauties and shrugged. Li Hongxiu sighed. Forget it. Everyone has their own secrets. I won't ask. However, it was a pity that Wan Jianyi and the others were not here. Otherwise, they could have killed them all. Indeed, apart from the great Master Spirit Turtle and the 9 Sacred Venerables, there were also some other Sacred City experts who had all died. However, Wan Jianyi, Gufeng, and the rest did not come. Thus they managed to escape this calamity. Yu Quan was no match for him at all, so he didn't even spare him a glance. As for Wan Jianyi, he had the confidence to defeat him the next time they met. Therefore, he ignored them and turned into a stream of light, disappearing into the universe. At the same time, the news spread out. After all, many people came out of the Green Mountain world. These people did not participate in the pursuit. Instead, they returned to the various worlds of the universe. Although their memories had been erased, only the memory of their young master being the Qingshan sacred ruler had been erased. His other memories were not lost at all. Therefore, they remember all the major events that happened very clearly. Soon, the entire second astral realm was in an uproar. Oh heavens! Did you know that Lin Wudi had defeated Yu Quan and was already on the pilgrim list? What? How could it be impossible? You must be joking. That's right. How powerful was Yu Quan? Even a late minor saint was not his match, let alone Lin Wudi. Lin Wudi was only an early minor saint. Where did he get his strength from? Those people sneered and shook their heads. But soon, they found that the situation had changed again. Not only Yu Quan, but Emo Xiu also died in his hands. Now, only Wan Jianyi, Gufeng, and the rest could suppress him. It was impossible for the others. Those who did not go sneered. What kind of joke was this? Why was it getting more and more ridiculous? Previously, it was Yu Quan, and now it was Emo Xiu. However, the experts of the sacred city spread the news one after another. Everyone frowned. Could it be true? After hearing the news, they were really shocked. The entire second astral realm was in an uproar. Oh heavens, how long had it been? Lin Wudi had created another miracle? Previously, when he broke through to the minor saint realm and defeated Lei Zhen, it was already very terrifying. That made everyone know that Lin Wudi was a super expert below the pilgrimage list. But now he had already entered the pilgrimage list and defeated 2 people consecutively. One of them even died in his hands. Was this guy trying to defy the heavens? They heard that he had obtained a lot of treasures in the Azure Mountain world, and his strength had greatly increased. He was now a mid-minor saint. No way, how long had it been? He could break through consecutively. It was comparable to thousands of years of cultivation outside. After hearing the news, they were very envious. They estimated that they could not reach Lin Wudi's level even if they cultivated for 2,000 years. What kind of news is this? Let me tell you something more terrifying. 9 Saint Venerables were trapped by Lin Wudi, and he was trampling on their faces crazily. Even the treasures on their bodies were taken away. How could it be? This time, everyone was really crazy. If one said that Lin Wudi had entered the pilgrimage list, they would have believed it. Lin Wudi had obtained a heaven-defying opportunity, and his strength had greatly increased. But to trap 9 Saint Venerables? What kind of joke was this? He couldn't do it, even if he was given 1,000 years. I swear I saw it with my own eyes. Me too. However, some people suddenly nodded. At that time, he had turned into a young Taoist and used a formation to trap those Saint Venerables. Everyone suddenly understood. It turned out that it was a special formation. Thinking about it, Lin Wudi should have obtained it in the Azure Mountain world. Otherwise, it would not be a threat to the Saint Venerables. Even so, this was already very terrifying. How much courage did it take to slap the Saint Venerables' faces? Would the 9 Saint Venerables let it go? No one knew. However, the Azure Mountain race protected Lin Xian, so he was in the Azure Mountain race. Those Saint Venerables did not move. However, it was not certain if they came out. Why not go and take a look? Let's go. These people moved out crazily, wanting to find out the latest news. After searching around, they did not get any news. However, a few months later, a terrifying news came. A certain place in the void of the universe had become a forbidden land. The baleful aura of the blood. See, there was shocking. Ordinary minor saints would die, without a doubt, if they went in. Heavens, what happened in that place? Blood, and a lot of Saint Venerable's blood, did not change all year round and condensed. Coupled with the endless resentment, those below Saint Venerables could not enter at all. Some people did not believe it and went there. Even from far away, they could feel the killing intent today. Heavens, why do I feel such terrifying demonic chi? Not only that, but I also feel the biting cold sword chi, the aura of desolation, and the aura of the Yellow Springs. Could it be that many Saint Venerables of the Holy City died here? Could it be the 9 Saint Venerables? For a moment, these people were terrified. Were the 9 Saint Venerables who chased after Lin Wudi dead? Who did it? Was it the Saint King? They trembled. Chapter 40-100. The news quickly spread. So much so that the sacred city also received the news. They immediately sent out powerhouses and discovered that this aura was indeed from the people they had sent to the Green Mountain group. Damn it, damn it. What exactly happened? These people rushed over frantically. They wanted to go to the Green Mountain clan to ask. However, they soon returned empty-handed. They even returned with goosebumps. They didn't know what had happened. They only knew that they couldn't easily go to the Green Mountain clan again. Damn it. It must have something to do with Lin Wudi. Quickly find that kid and kill him. The people of the sacred city frantically moved out, but they didn't find anything at all. Lin Xian had already found an inconspicuous world and entered it. Then he entered the great sacred tower to cultivate in seclusion. He had obtained so many treasures in the Green Mountain realm and had even improved his realm. In addition, he had to recuperate after the previous battle. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Li Hongxiu had returned, and Murong Qingqing was by his side. In this year, he had already consolidated his realm. He was prepared to cultivate some new things, such as the sect convergence sword. This was something he had wanted to cultivate for a long time. Now that he had the dream leaf, he could cultivate while condensing imaginary enemies in the dream leaf to fight. This way, his cultivation of the sect convergence sword would be much faster. Just like that, Lin Xian began to cultivate tirelessly. Under normal circumstances, it would be impossible to cultivate the sect convergence sword without at least 100 years. Even a top genius like Wan Jinni would need a few decades to do so. However, 3 years later, Lin Xian had mastered it. Moreover, it wasn't just an ordinary beginner. He had already cultivated to a very profound realm. Firstly, he was a top swordsman. His sword Dao had long been unfathomable, not weaker than Wan Jinni. Therefore, he was able to cultivate the sect convergence sword easily. Secondly, that was the effect of the dream leaf. This dream leaf was really too good, as expected of the Saint King's method. In this world, he could create opponents that he could imagine. This opponent could specifically target his weakness, so he could improve quickly in a short period of time. In 3 years, although Lin Xian's cultivation did not improve, his attainments in the sword Dao had improved by leaps and bounds. It was completely different from 3 years ago. Now, Lin Xian was confident that he could defeat Wan Jinni if he met him again. Moreover, he had defeated his opponent in the way of the sword. Lin Xian stood up and looked at Morong Qingcheng. Morong Qingcheng had a map before, so they had collected a lot of resources and were now digesting them. Qingcheng. Lin Xian called out softly, and Morong Qingcheng opened his eyes. Brother Xian, you're awake. Lin Xian said, It's been more than 3 years. Where do you plan to go next? How long has it been? Morong Qingcheng was surprised. Then I have to go back to the Kunlun Pavilion. All right, then I'll send you back. Lin Xian and Morong Qingcheng, let's go. When they reached the Kunlun Pavilion, Lin Xian bid farewell to Morong Qingcheng. He was ready to return to Wushuang City and continue cultivating. Although he had slapped the holy sage's face, he knew that it was still too difficult for him to defeat the holy sage with his true strength. However, he was not afraid of anyone below the holy sage. However, on the way back he heard a piece of news. This news made Lin Xian's face completely darken. This was what Lin Xian heard in a restaurant after landing in a world when he was tired from flying. Those people were obviously sages. Although they hid their auras, Lin Xian could see through them at a glance. Moreover, although these people used a formation to isolate their conversation, Lin Xian still caught them. One of the sages said, Did you know that something big happened recently? Are you talking about the twin rain planet? Yes, it was the star world of the Rain Clan. After the Rain Clan was destroyed, that place was divided up by the big forces. However, those big forces had always coexisted peacefully, and no one inherited that world. But now it was said that there was a big fight, and many people wanted to snatch this twin rain planet. Is that true? What was on the twin rain planet? Another person was surprised. An extremely terrifying aura came from the Shuangyuan. According to the investigation of those big forces, they found that it should be a sealed sacred artifact that was about to be born. That sacred artifact was very powerful. It was at least sun level, and it might even be a sage level weapon. What? A sage level weapon appeared on the bilingual rain planet? What was going on? Hearing this, the sages were shocked, and Lin Xian's pupils shrank. How could it be? The twin rain planet was his world. Had such a change already happened? Damn it, he had been in seclusion before, so he did not know. Moreover, a top-level sacred artifact had appeared. How could it be? He had checked before, but there was nothing. Wait, suddenly he was stunned, because he remembered that he had left the small 8 trigrams and the spear of destruction there. Could it be that there was something wrong with the spear of destruction, and it was discovered? Thinking of this, his face became cold. It seemed that he could not return to Wushuang City, and had to hurry to the bilingual star. He had to figure out what was going on. However, he did not set off immediately, but continued to investigate the conversation of the sages. However, there was no result. Those sages did not know what was going on. They also heard some rumors. Lin Xian decided to set off. In the next moment, his figure flashed and left. Because he was anxious, he released a trace of his aura. The sages in the top-level VIP room instantly had extremely ugly expressions. They suddenly stood up and looked into the distance. They only saw a back view. How could it be? That aura just now. Did you sense it? Another sage nodded. It was too terrifying. That was a small saint. Heavens, a small saint actually appeared in this world? Be quiet. That person probably heard our conversation and went to the twin rain planet. These people's scalps went numb. One of them said that a small saint went to the twin rain planet to snatch the Saint King's weapon. He was simply courting death if he went. Lin Xian did not know about this. He had to hurry to the twin rain planet, but that place was quite far from here. If he relied on flying alone, the item would have been stolen long ago. No, he had to use the void teleportation array, and it had to be a very top-notch teleportation array. Because this time, the universe he had to cross was really too far. Boom! 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 Just as he was thinking about how to go, the universe behind him suddenly fluctuated violently. Several behemoths were flying at high speed, and the information they brought with them was abnormally terrifying. They were pulling some chariots and turned into flowing light. Buzz! Seeing that the other party was heading in this direction, Lin Xian frowned slightly, but his figure flashed and dodged. Looking at the majestic group of beasts, Lin Xian was surprised. He did not know which faction they were from, but they were actually so arrogant. It seemed that they were related to the Demon City. Regardless, he did not care. It was better to find a world to ask first, so he also flew quickly. His flying speed was very fast, and it did not take long for him to catch up with the group of beasts. The auras of the people riding the beasts in front were also very terrifying. These were all sages. One of the sages frowned. Someone is following us. Are they courting death? Men, go and kill him. Chapter 4101. Let me go. Since he dares to meddle in the affairs of the Green Dragon clan, I will make sure he dies without a burial ground. A man walked out. He was a late minor saint. His body was covered with green scales and he had a tail. With a shift of his body, he transformed into a phantom and flew backward, quickly intercepting Lin Xian. Kid, are you from the 100 Crane clan? Or were you invited by the 100 Crane clan? How dare you follow us? You really don't know what death is. Kneel down and accept your death. What the hell? Lin Xian frowned. What 100 Crane clan? I don't know. Get out of my way. Lin Xian didn't have the mood to be entangled with these people. How dare you ask me to get lost? No one has ever dared to talk to me like this. Looks like I have to torture you. No matter who you are, you will die for following us secretly. As soon as he finished speaking, the man's palm instantly changed and struck out. The huge hand was covered with terrifying scales, as if it was a part of the world. It shrouded Lin Xian within. Go to hell. The man was also a genius. This strike could kill anyone below the minor saint realm. Get lost. Lin Xian roared. He waved his sleeve and a sword chi flew out. How dare you fight back? You don't know what death is. The man sneered, but soon his smile froze, because his palm was penetrated. Not only that, there was a bloody wound in between his eyebrows. His body was split into two, and his soul was destroyed in an instant. Lin Xian retracted his palm and continued to fly forward. After flying for a long distance, the man's body was split into two. The group in front frowned. How dare you follow us? You really don't know what death is. Do you think the 100 Crane clan can run away from the wedding? Impossible. It's your great fortune that my young master likes you, a minor saint said to the bronze chariot beside him with a smile. The bronze chariot was extraordinarily majestic. There were dragons carved on it. A figure was sitting in the chariot. She was wearing a red robe with a phoenix on it. It seemed to be a wedding dress. Moreover, the woman's head was covered, and her face couldn't be seen clearly. However, drop after drop of tears flowed out from the green veil. It was obvious that the other party was crying. However, she couldn't escape at all. She was completely sealed and couldn't even move, let alone escape. The surrounding members of the green flood dragon tribe laughed coldly. But suddenly one of them stopped laughing. What was going on? Why was that person chasing them again? Could it be that she didn't kill him? Damn it! That little saint's face was grim as he said, "Kill him!" This time, 2 late-stage, 5th heavenly layer experts rushed out. "Kid, who sent you here?" It was the same question again. Lin Xian frowned, but he ignored it. Get lost. His entire body emitted a piercingly cold sword chi. He did not stop at all, but pierced through with his sword. Just as the two of them finished speaking, their bodies were cut in half at the waist. So powerful. The demonic beasts in front of them were infuriated, and the minor saints also stood up. Damn it! Judging from his skills, he should be a minor saint. Humph! A mere little saint dares to be so arrogant in front of us? Immediately, 8 figures rose to their feet. They were all little saints. Among them, there were 2 late-stage little saints and 4 mid-stage little saints. How could the opponent fight against such a lineup? Tell me who you are, and I'll give you a quick and painless death. An early little saint stepped forward and blocked their path. Get lost. Lin Xian slashed out with his sword again. You're courting death. That person roared, and a green storm was spat out from his mouth. The terrifying storm swept across the land, and the chi of great Tao was incomparable. Asterisk puff. Asterisk Lin Xian continued flying. The little saint's head flew up. His eyes were wide open. Even until his death, he could not believe that he was killed by a single sword strike. An expert of sword Tao. The other few people's pupils shrank. The opponent killed a little saint with a single sword strike. This kind of strength terrified them. The 4 early-stage little saints attacked together. They did not hold back, just in case. For saint items soared into the sky. The terrifying and incomparable Dharma shrouded Lin Xian. A deafening sound rang out, and the terrifying, great Tao permeated the land. In the bronze chariot, the mysterious girl stopped crying. Although she could not move, she could still hear the scene outside. She had also heard the exclamations of these people. Even a little saint had fallen. Did the people of her family come to save her? She was overjoyed. Was she finally free from the devil's clutches? However, when the 4 mid-stage little saints attacked and destroyed everything, the girl was in complete despair. She was afraid that there would be another corpse. Outside the chariot, the demonic beasts revealed a hideous smile. You want to fight us? You're courting death. Let's go. The 4 little saints kept their saint items and turned around, wanting to leave. However, a cold voice came from the broken void. I don't know you guys, and we have no grudges against each other. But you guys tried to kill me time and time again. Do you think I'm a pushover? Since you want to kill me, you should be prepared to be killed. They were stunned when they heard the voice. Their expressions turned extremely ugly as they abruptly turned their heads around. Their eyes were filled with intense fear. He's still alive? That's impossible. The 4 of them could fight a late-stage little saint if they attacked together. How could he survive? Could he be a late-stage little saint? Thinking of this, the 4 of them quickly retreated. One of the 2 late minor saints walked out and smashed the void in front of him with a palm strike. This time he should be dead, right? Asterisk pung pung pung. Asterisk the endless void broke open, and a figure walked out. He didn't have any injuries on his body. How could this be? The late-stage little saint kept retreating. He was so scared that his body was trembling. Who is this guy? Don't you think it's too late to ask who I am now? Lin Xian was furious. These people attacked him from the beginning. If he was a little weaker, he would have been dead by now. Therefore, these people couldn't be forgiven. Buzz. Lin Xian shouted coldly. He activated the law of sword and the myriad ancestral swords. Countless sword shadows appeared on his body. Kill! With a shout, thousands of sword chi spread out in all directions. Damn it! Attack! The two little saints roared. They felt provoked. No matter how strong the opponent was, he was only one person. They had so many little saints on their side. Couldn't they kill him? For a moment, these people didn't run away. Instead, they attacked crazily. Boom! 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 Various great daos intertwined between heaven and earth. Countless screams resounded. Blood splattered, piercing through the 9 heavens. 8 minor saints were split in half, their eyes popping out of their sockets. So powerful? The opponent killed 8 of them with a single move. What kind of technique is this? It's too heaven-defying. One of the late-stage little saint uttered his last words. Myriad ancestral swords. Obviously, he recognized this divine ability at the end of his life. Unfortunately, it was too late. Chapter 4102. Roar, 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 roar. The 8 sages were dead, and the beasts roared anxiously. The others were also dumbfounded. The 8 strongest experts on their side had been killed in an instant. Hurry up and run. These people ran frantically, but as soon as they moved, their foreheads were pierced by the sword chi. Including the beasts that were pulling the chariot, they all fell in the void. They were all killed in an instant. None of them were alive. The corpses floated in the air and blood filled the air. What happened? What the hell is going on? The woman in the bronze chariot was completely stunned. She could already smell the stench of blood outside. Who could exterminate so many experts of the Green Flood Dragon clan? It must be an extremely powerful expert. It didn't seem to be someone from their tribe. It must be someone who was passing by. These people from the Green Dragon tribe had angered this person. Thinking of this, she didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Lin Xian wanted to leave after killing these people, but he frowned. He turned around and looked behind him. He could clearly feel the presence of someone in the bronze chariot. He waved his hand and split the bronze chariot in half. Boom! 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 The woman's veil was also split in half. She suddenly opened her eyes. She was completely stunned. The scene around her, the mountains of corpses and the sea of blood, terrified her. At this moment, there were still tears on her face. She was sealed? It seemed that they weren't from the same group. Lin Xian waved his hand and removed the seal on the woman. Then he said, "All right, they're all dead. You can leave now." Then he turned around and wanted to leave. The woman behind was stunned. He didn't kill her, and he even removed her seal in an instant. It was really unbelievable. Seeing that he was about to leave, she exclaimed. Lin Xian stopped and asked, "Is there anything else? May I know my benefactor's name? I can repay my benefactor in the future." Bai Qian was very grateful. She thought that she would fall into the abyss and live a life worse than death. She didn't expect that someone would save her on the way, although this person did it unintentionally. But after all, he helped her escape from the demon's clutches. Forget about the name. Lin Xian shook his head. If he said his name, it would probably scare this girl. But to repay my benefactor? Don't tell me I have something to ask you. Benefactor, please say it. As long as I can do it, I'll definitely do it. Bai Qian said excitedly. If he asked her to repay him, she would probably agree without blinking her eyes. The reason for that was because the person in front of him looked very young and very handsome. More importantly, he was strong. He was strong, late minor saint. This person might very well be a holy venerate. Hence, Bai Qian felt very nervous. Do you know, in the nearby star worlds where there is a world in Star World? It's the kind's teleportation. Lin Xian had only asked casually because he felt that such a teleportation array was usually only found in places like the major factions. It would be difficult to find one elsewhere. Bye. You. Lin Xian was stunned. In the next moment, she revealed a smile. Bring me. Bye. In the process of flying, Lin Xian understood that there really was a world nearby. There was a world with such a large teleportation array. This world didn't belong to a holy city. It belonged to the ancient race. The 10,000 ancient races were all terrifyingly powerful races with powerful bloodlines. Therefore, it wasn't a problem for them to own a world and have a super teleportation array. This world was called Flying Star. It was Lin Xian's target this time. Lin Xian had gained a certain level of understanding of the woman that he had saved. Her name was Bai Qian. She was from the ancient white crane race. This time, she was forced into marriage. The green flood dragon race was stronger than the white crane race. Therefore, Bai Qian was sacrificed to marry the young master of the green flood dragon race. Originally, Bai Qian resisted with her life. Who would have thought that she would be sealed in an instant? She couldn't die even if she wanted to. Fortunately, Lin Xian had stepped in and saved her by accident. Otherwise, one could only imagine her fate in the future. Green flood dragon race. White crane race. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. They were all from the ancient race. Bai Qian asked for Lin Xian's name. Lin Xian thought for a moment and said, Teach me how to comprehend the sword. He was currently comprehending the sword Dao, so he casually came up with a name. Lin Xian used the dragon-shaped sword energy to form a mask. He wore it on his face. He didn't want to attract attention this time, so he hid his identity and changed his name. Big Brother Wu Jian, the flying star, is in front of us. Bai Qian pointed at a huge star in front of them. Lin Xian nodded. As expected of the ancient race, this star was much bigger than the others. Soon, they entered the clouds and entered the flying star. Lin Xian asked, How can I activate that super teleportation array? Bai Qian said that the city lord of this world had to agree. As for the city lord in Primordial City, there would be a few battles there. As long as one could win 81 battles there in a row, one could make a request to the city lord. Big Brother Wu Jian, you're so strong. It shouldn't be a problem. He knew it wouldn't be so easy to use the teleportation array. However, it wouldn't be a problem if it was just a challenge. Next, the two of them set off for Immemorial City. Immemorial City was very famous in the Star Realm. It could even be said to be the holy land of this world. Not only the people of this world, but the geniuses of the nearby star realms would also go to Immemorial City when they had nothing to do. After all, this place had a huge attraction. If one could win 81 battles in a row, any request could be fulfilled. Of course, if one wanted to live forever, they would probably be beaten out. If one wanted to ask for something, they had to ask for something that Immemorial City could accept. For example, some precious cultivation techniques, mystical abilities, natural treasures, or beauties. Even some experts and geniuses of the Holy City would come. After all, some people wanted to improve through battle. This kind of challenge was the most suitable. Of course, there were more ancient race experts. These ancient race experts had powerful bloodlines and talents. They couldn't be underestimated. As they flew, they finally saw a huge object on the horizon. It was Immemorial City. How was this a city? It was even bigger than a country. On the majestic city walls, there were modeled swords and sabers. It had a primordial aura and had been standing for tens of thousands of years. Perhaps the other party had already witnessed the arrival and fall of countless geniuses. Friends in front, quickly land. Don't you know that you can't fly into Immemorial City? At this moment, a voice came from behind. Hearing this, Lin Xian stopped and looked at Bai Qianshan. Bai Qianshan said, "This is my first time here too." "Is this your first time here?" the person behind asked. It was a war chariot with 3 people standing on it, 2 men and a woman. The 3 of them sized up Lin Xian and Bai Qianshan curiously. When they saw Lin Xian, they frowned slightly. They couldn't see his face clearly because he was wearing a mask. Moreover, they couldn't see his cultivation level clearly. Soon they gave up. The 2 men looked at Bai Qianshan with a glint in their eyes. What a beautiful woman! And from the looks of it, her bloodline is extraordinary. Which race is this fairy from? The red-robed man took the lead and walked over. He revealed a handsome smile. Chapter 4103. I am from the 100 Crane clan. This is Brother Wu Jian. Qianshan said. So it was Fairy Bai. The red-robed man smiled and greeted her. My name is Hu Yuan. I am from the Firevine clan. My 2 friends are brother and sister. They are from the Mountain Pangolin clan. The black-robed man said, My name is Chuan Shui. The black-robed woman smiled and said, My name is Dongling. The 2 men looked at Bai Qianshan from the beginning to the end. They didn't even look at Lin Xian. At this moment, Dongling smiled and said, She didn't know which clan he was from. Bai Qianshan said that this was Brother Wu Jian. He was a very powerful swordsman, a human martial artist. The 3 of them were surprised. A hint of disdain appeared in the eyes of Hu Yuan and Dongling, but they didn't say anything. Instead, they said that since it was their first time here, why not come with them? They didn't wait for Lin Xian to answer and directly led the way. Brother Wu Dao. Bai Qianshan asked for Lin Xian's opinion. Lin Xian shrugged. It would be great if there was someone to lead the way. Next, they were unimpeded and soon arrived at the city. As soon as they entered the ancient city, they felt a tsunami-like roar. There was a terrifying law in front of them. Bai Qianshan's face was slightly pale. This power really shocked her. Lin Xian was expressionless. He had long heard that there would be a challenge here, so he wasn't too surprised. How is it? Is it your first time here? Are you shocked by this scene? When you arrive, you will be even more shocked. Hu Yuan laughed in front. In his opinion, these 2 people were scared silly. Of course, he only saw Bai Qianshan's expression and didn't see Lin Xian's. Because Lin Xian was wearing a mask, he didn't think that this human in front of him wouldn't be afraid. Not long after, they saw one arena after another in front of them, fighting at the same time. Countless cultivators were watching and cheering in the surroundings. These arenas were extraordinary. They were passed down from the ancient race and had extremely strong defensive arrays on them. They could prevent energy and protect the surrounding spectators. However, the aura they emitted still shocked countless people. Kuemo! Kuemo! Many people in the surroundings were shouting crazily. Soon, their voices became uniform and shook the 9 heavens. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked over. In the largest arena in the middle, the outcome of the battle had already been decided. A man in black armor easily defeated the enemy. At this moment, he was waving his hand and accepting the cheers of these people. Seeing this, Hu Yuan smiled. Did you guys know that his name is Kuemo and he is very powerful? He had already won 50 consecutive victories and was very close to 81 consecutive victories. Was he that powerful? Bai Qianshan opened her mouth wide. That's natural. Hu Yuan smiled as if he knew everything. It was not easy to win 81 matches in a row. Even winning 70 matches in a row was very difficult. It was said that no one had been able to win 81 matches in a row for several hundred years. Really? Bai Qianshan exclaimed. Although she knew the legend of the primeval city, she didn't know the specifics. Of course, it was very difficult to win 81 matches in a row. It was probably impossible. For Kuemo to be able to win 50 matches in a row was already very heaven-defying. Bai Qianqian nodded, but then she smiled. Others might not be able to do it, but Brother Wu Jian could definitely do it. What? Hui Yuan was stunned. Was it the masked man next to him? He could win 81 matches in a row. What a joke! The pangolin siblings also laughed. They were laughing at Bai Qianqian's ignorance. However, Bai Qianqian didn't know. She looked at Lin Xian and said excitedly, Brother Wu Jian, when are you going to go on stage? Lin Xian said, wait first. Let's look at the rules here first. Since the other party said that no one has been able to succeed for several hundred years, there must be something wrong. This meant that there must be some secret here. Otherwise, it was impossible that no one had succeeded. He had to figure it out first before making a move. He didn't want to waste any more time. As for the flies beside him, he completely ignored them. They were just clowns and couldn't enter his eyes. If they really dared to provoke him, he would just kill them with a sword. At this moment, countless gazes were looking at Kuei Mo. The armor on Kuei Mo's body released a terrifying aura as he laughed. Come, continue. I must break the curse of not being able to win consecutively. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, the ground trembled. A mountain-like figure jumped up and then landed fiercely. His skin was very white, but there was a single horn on his huge head. This was a rhinoceros saint. His aura was very strong. He had already reached the middle stage. It was useless. It was over. The rhinoceros's voice was very terrifying. He directly attacked. This was a demon saint with boundless strength. He could destroy heaven and earth at any time. Everyone was worried for Kuei Mo. However, after 3 moves, everyone screamed. Because after 3 weeks, the rhinoceros saint was defeated. Countless screams and shouts sounded. Everyone went crazy for the power. Bai Qianqian was also stunned. This Kuei Mo was so powerful. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He was even more powerful than the ordinary powerhouses of the Holy City. But that was it. He was still not his match. It seemed that he could easily win 50 matches in a row. After that, he probably wouldn't even ask before 70 matches. However, after 70 matches, there would probably be a problem. But he still didn't know what it was. The rhinoceros saint's shattered body healed, and he left the arena dejectedly. Not long after, another powerhouse challenged Kuei Mo, wanting to snipe his chances of winning. However, many people lost. This scene surprised Bai Qianqian even more. Even Hui Yuan and the other 2 exclaimed in surprise, as expected of a terrifying expert. Sorry to disturb you. At this moment, a voice sounded. Everyone turned their heads to look at the forest. Xian discovered that it was an old man who was about 1 meter tall. He had blue skin and pointed ears. His eyes were also blue. It seemed that he wasn't human. He was also one of the 10,000 ancient races. Hui Yuan and the others were originally unhappy. What kind of status did they have to be disturbed? However, when he saw the jade token on the old man's waist, he was stunned. What did this old senior want? Hu Yuan revealed an even more genial smile. The old man waved his hand, and a blue light screen appeared, forming a seal. It enveloped the entire space and then disappeared. Although it couldn't be seen from the outside, Lin Xian knew that this was an isolation array formation. Now, their conversation could not be overheard by anyone other than them. He didn't expect this old man to be an array formation expert. He didn't know what this old fellow wanted to say. He actually made it so mysterious. After the old man set up the array formation, he smiled and said, "Are you interested in helping me?" "What help?" Bai Qianqian was surprised. Hui Yuan and the other 2 didn't say anything. The blue-skinned old man said, "Help us fight and snipe Kuei Mo's chances of winning." "Ah, isn't that cheating?" Bai Qianqian exclaimed. Hui Yuan and the other 2's expressions changed. "Fairy Bai, don't talk nonsense." The old man wasn't angry. He chuckled. "How could it be considered cheating? We just want to make the challenge more interesting. If it wasn't difficult, then our immemorial ancient city probably wouldn't be so popular. Sure enough, Hui Yuan and the other two nodded. It seemed that they knew about this rule. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. No wonder. The later the game, the more experts they would find to snipe. In addition, it was a tag team battle. There would probably be one round that they would lose. Especially the last few rounds, they would probably be very terrifying experts. No wonder no one had 181 consecutive rounds for hundreds of years. Chapter 4104. Lin Xian frowned. No matter what, this old man was a late minor saint. Couldn't he see that Hui Yuan and the other two weren't Kuei Mo's match? Hui Yuan and the other two knew their limits. They said, "I'm afraid it'll be hard for us to defeat that guy." The blue-skinned old man smiled. "Don't worry. We won't let you win. We want you to exhaust him with all your strength. Leave the rest to us. Of course, we won't let you fight for free. As long as you fight, we'll give each of you 5 purple Thunder 9 Revolutions pills." Really? Hui Yuan and the other two's eyes lit up, revealing a fiery gaze. Obviously, this pill was very effective for minor saints. How about it, Brother Chuan Shan? Hui Yuan turned his head and looked at the black-robed siblings. The black-robed man, Chuan Shui, said, "All right." The black-robed woman, Dongling, shook her head. "I won't participate. You two go ahead." In the end, Chuan Shui and Hui Yuan decided to participate. Both of them were mid-minor saints, and their strength was very strong. Of course, both of them weren't from the younger generation. They were estimated to be between 1,500 to 2,000 years old. Such a cultivation at such a young age might be very amazing in the eyes of outsiders. However, in Lin Xian's eyes, they were nothing. Of course, he didn't say anything. He was just like a spectator. Very soon, Kuei Yuan stopped because he only needed to fight 10 rounds before he could stop. This was a form of protection for the challengers. Otherwise, the challengers would be exhausted to death by taking turns. Hui Yuan and the other two were also prepared to fight tomorrow. Soon, the second day arrived and the sun rose. When Kuei Mo walked back to the arena, countless people screamed crazily. Bai Qianqian's face was also filled with excitement. She rarely saw such a scene. On the other side, Dongling's eyes were also filled with infatuation. After all, experts were worshipped by others. "Human boy, take a good look. I'll let you know what an immemorial expert is." She looked at Lin Xian and sneered. Lin Xian ignored her. Kuei Mo's strength was similar to Yu Quan. Of course, he was older than Yu Quan. Lin Xian didn't put such strength in his eyes. Hence, there was nothing to pay attention to. He looked around and was suddenly taken aback. He noticed that a figure had appeared on the spectator stands in the distance. The aura of this figure was very obscure, but it was enough to make one's heart palpitate. This wasn't the first time Lin Xian had sensed this aura, especially after his eye technique and soul had improved. He could clearly sense that this was the aura of a sacred sovereign. The other party was wearing a large black robe that covered everything. However, Lin Xian could clearly see that under the black robes were ancient clothes. It looked like an ancient Taoist robe. There was a vivid and lifelike 5-clawed divine dragon drawn on it. This shocked Lin Xian. This person's identity was definitely not ordinary. At the same time, he saw that there was another person beside the black-robed man. However, he recognized him at a glance. It was the blue-skinned old man from yesterday. The other party was very respectful towards the black-robed man. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Could it be that this person was the city lord of Primordial City? Suddenly, he withdrew his gaze, and the golden light in his eyes disappeared. His aura instantly weakened, as if he had fallen asleep. It turned out that the black-robed man suddenly frowned and looked over. "What's wrong? City Lord?" The blue-skinned old man was surprised. The city, lord of Primordial City, retracted his gaze. Just now, I felt that someone was spying on me, but I couldn't find out who it was. Someone actually dared to steal from the city lord. Should I send my subordinates to investigate and get rid of him? There's no need. There are always some bold guys. There's no need to pay attention to them. I wonder how it will be today. Will it be able to end his competition? The city lord of Primordial City asked coldly. The blue-skinned old man smiled. Don't worry, city lord. It will definitely end his competition. We will end it at the 69th round. The next few rounds had already been agreed upon. It seemed that these people were very confident. Next, the competition began. One after another, experts moved out. However, none of them were a match for Kuei-mo. Their purpose was to exhaust his strength. When the sixth person came out, Huiyuan went up. Watch carefully, humans. Dong Ling sneered again. It had to be said that Huiyuan was also very strong. The moment he went up, he displayed an extremely strong flame, causing countless people to scream. So strong. That's right. Where did Primordial City find such an expert? Countless people exclaimed. Huiyuan's 2 fire pain vines kept whipping. They were comparable to sacred artifacts. All kinds of fire laws filled the air. After an intense collision, Huiyuan was defeated. Next, the 7th person to go up was Chuan Shui. As a member of the pangolin race, he could specialize in assassination underground. He could be considered to be elusive. However, after 15 moves, he was still kicked out by Kuei-mo. The 7 people were defeated, causing countless people to scream. Kuei-mo was too strong. However, Kuei-yuan's face was a little pale. The opponent this time was much stronger than yesterday. He had fought 7 rounds in a row, and he didn't have much strength left. Moreover, the rules of the competition stated that he couldn't consume pills or natural treasures during the competition. Therefore, the following battles would be even more difficult. When Lin Xian saw this scene, he shook his head and smiled. Damn, human brat, what are you laughing at? When Dong Ling saw this scene, she was instantly furious. Was the other party laughing at her brother? I'm laughing. This is what you want me to look good. What's there to look good about being defeated? Damn it. Dong Ling gritted her teeth. How dare a human brat be so arrogant? Huiyuan and Chuan Shui also came back. When they heard this, their faces sank. Human brat, we let you follow us because of White Fairy. If you don't know what's good for you, don't blame us for killing you. This was the territory of the 10,000 ancient races. Although humans could come here, they were very low-key here. Who dared to laugh at them like this? Just a few ants like you dare to say such words to me? I spared your lives because of Chan-Chan. If there's a next time, I'll definitely destroy your souls. After speaking, Lin Xian directly walked forward. Brat, how arrogant! Huiyuan and the others shouted angrily. By Chan-Chan persuaded. Oh, don't quarrel! Huiyuan said, White Fairy, although I'm giving you face, this brat is too arrogant. I can spare his life, but I have to teach him a lesson. Bai Chan-Chan said, I'm not worried about Brother Wu Jin. I'm worried about you. Don't fight with him, or you'll die miserably. What? Huiyuan and the others were stunned. They'll die miserably? Are you kidding? That brat isn't even a small saint. White Fairy, have you been deceived by this human? Dong Ling also frowned. Bai Chan-Chan shook her head. Brother Wu Jin is very powerful. She remembered the previous scene. When she opened her eyes, the 8 small saints were already dead. What kind of power was this? Of course. She wouldn't say it out loud. If these people dared to provoke Lin Xian, they were really courting death. Damn it, what is that human brat doing? Suddenly, Dong Ling screamed at this time. Huiyuan and Chuan Shui also looked forward. The next moment, the two laughed. Did the other party want to challenge him? He was reckless. He would probably be killed in the first battle. Chapter 4105. Kuei Mo's defeat made countless people exclaim, because he was the most likely person to break the record. But he still lost. He didn't even complete the 70th round and lost at the 69th round. It made people sigh. At this moment, a gaze attracted the attention of those people. They realized that someone was walking towards the central arena again. Could it be that someone wanted to challenge again? Who was Chang Tianya? The blue-skinned old man also saw this scene and narrowed his eyes. He went forward and asked. Then the corners of his mouth raised into a smile. Cultivation was another thing to be happy about, because someone wanted to challenge the 81 win streak. Let us welcome this challenger, Wu Jian. Who was Wu Jian? The surrounding onlookers were stunned. They had never heard of this name. Under the expectant gazes of the crowd, a figure finally arrived on the arena. Everyone opened their eyes wide and looked carefully. They wanted to see who it was that dared to challenge at this time. Soon they were stunned. They saw a man wearing a mask walk up. The other party stood with his hands behind his back. The aura on his body was very vague. It was impossible to determine what realm he was in. Who was this person? I heard that he was called Wu Jian. I don't know. Is he more famous than Kuei Mo? Why do I feel like he's a newcomer? It can't be, right? A newcomer dares to challenge? Doesn't he know how Kuei Mo was defeated? Screams and exclamations rang out. In the distance, Huiyuan and the other two sneered when they saw this scene. Did the other party really go up? He didn't know what was good for him. Did he think that he was stronger than Kuei Mo? Just wait. He will definitely lose within 3 rounds. Huiyuan's eyes were filled with disdain. On the other side, Dongling snorted. I don't think there's a need for 3 rounds. He won't be able to win 1 round. She mocked and ridiculed. However, on the other side, Bai Qianqian was incomparably excited. She clenched her small fists. Brother Wu Jian, you can do it. You can definitely break the record. Kuei Mo also saw it. He saw a human youth walk up and wanted to replace him to complete the task that he couldn't complete. This made him feel very unhappy. If he couldn't complete it, how could the other party complete it? You don't know what's good for you. I want to see where you got the capital from. When the time comes, even your family's fortune will be lost. One had to know that not everyone could casually go up and become a challenger. He wanted to challenge her. They had to pay the entrance fee first, which was also a shocking amount of wealth. He guessed that the other party must have taken all of their assets to be able to afford the tickets. Lin Xian said indifferently as he stood on the stage and looked around. I've heard that no one has broken the record for hundreds of years, so I'll be the one to break it this time. Who would be the first to come? His gaze shifted to his surroundings. He was like a high and mighty god. As soon as these words came out, it caused the surrounding people to exclaim in surprise. This Brett really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I'll go and meet him. Someone rushed down from the stands. In the 81 battles, anyone could go up and snipe. However, just to be on the safe side, once someone displayed an extremely powerful strength, Immemorial City would secretly spend a high price to bribe experts to go up and snipe them. For example, the blue-skinned old man from before had used pills to buy a fire source. As for Kuei Mo, he had indeed been defeated by them. Therefore, this kind of move was very common. Generally speaking, only those who had reached Kuei Mo's level would be able to attract the attention of those people. Otherwise, Immemorial City probably wouldn't have bothered to send people over. Therefore, the first saint to come up was someone who couldn't stand it. He felt that Lin Xian's tone was too arrogant. Go to hell. He waved his axe with a powerful aura that could split mountains and rivers. On it, endless runes filled the air. So powerful, even a 5th heaven sage would be split in half by this attack. He, that masked brat, is dead for sure. Many people sneered. Lin Xian looked at the scene. He didn't make a move at all, nor did he dodge. A golden light appeared in his eyes. With a plop, the giant axe stood on the ground in front of him. A terrifying thunderclap sounded. The burly man's body swayed, and he fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth and unconscious. What happened? Did he miss? The surrounding spectators were all stunned. This attack actually missed. And what shocked them was, what happened to that burly man? It seemed that he had fainted. Did that brat make a move? No, we didn't see it. Could it be that his speed was so fast that it surpassed our soul capture? The surrounding people screamed crazily. However, the experts shook their heads. No, we didn't catch it either. These were all small saints. If they couldn't catch it, how fast was it? It was absolutely impossible. In other words, the other party didn't make a move at all. Damn it, what the hell is going on? Hu Yuan and the others had ugly expressions. Did that burly man have a heart attack? Dong Ling snorted coldly. If you're not in good health, don't come out and embarrass yourself. Get out of here. The surrounding people also felt the same way. The burly man must be injured. Otherwise, he wouldn't have fainted as soon as he made a move. The burly man was carried away. No one knew whether he was dead or alive. Lin Xian was still standing there. In the eyes of the crowd, the other party was just lucky this time. It was impossible for the second person to be so lucky. Soon, the second person rushed up. He swept his long spear like a dragon with an extremely powerful aura. The terrifying law of fire filled the air. He charged at Lin Xian. Lin Xian still didn't move. He still looked at the other party. Puff! The spear missed, and the expert who attacked also fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth. Oh my God, what's going on? The surrounding people were stunned again. Could it be that this person's health was also not good? Hu Yuan and the others were shocked again. Then the third, fourth, and fifth person's attacks all missed. Then they fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth, unconscious. At this moment, even a fool knew that it was absolutely impossible for these 5 people to be in poor health. They must have been hit. What kind of attack was it? It was so fast that they couldn't detect it. Finally, someone screamed. It wasn't him. He should have used a soul attack. Was it a soul attack? No wonder. Soul attacks were strange and unusual, killing people without leaving a trace. No wonder they couldn't see it clearly. They didn't expect this guy to be a soul expert. Brother Wu Jian was too awesome. Bai Qian cheered. Hu Yuan and the others' faces were ugly. A soul expert? It was indeed beyond their expectations. They felt extremely unhappy. Humph, there are only 5 people. It's still too far away. I estimate that there will be at most 10 people. They definitely won't be able to reach the 20th round. But soon, they were stunned because the next 5 people went up to the stage in a row. But in just a second, they fell to the ground and fainted from the illusion. In the blink of an eye, Lin Xian had won 10 consecutive rounds. This record was nothing in the past. After all, Kuei Mo was the one who attracted attention. Many people could achieve 10 consecutive wins, but to do it so easily and quickly, Lin Xian was probably the first. Therefore, countless screams sounded. Chapter 4106. Next, the experts became more cautious. They paid special attention to their surroundings and didn't even dare to look at their opponent's eyes. However, it was still useless. Lin Xian's soul was extremely powerful. How could these people be his opponent? Therefore, 10 people fell in a blink of an eye. He had already won 20 consecutive victories. The entire process didn't even take half an incense stick's time. Everyone looked at this scene in a daze. It was as if they were dreaming. Hu Yuan, Chuan Shui, and Dong Ling's mouth twitched. Such a soul made them feel terrified. This was definitely a difficult opponent. Damn it, they actually had such an expert by their side. Moreover, they actually looked down on such a person. This was enough to threaten them. Kuei Mo's expression was incomparably solemn. No wonder his opponent dared to challenge him. It turned out that he had a soul as his trump card. On the other side, The blue-skinned old man frowned. Even the immemorial city's city lord was surprised. Soul experts were extremely rare. They didn't expect one to appear naturally. Next, some people took out their soul defense equipment. However, it was still useless. Soon, he won 25 consecutive victories. Kuei-emo frowned. When he challenged Lin Xian, he won 25 consecutive victories on the first day. After that, he stopped. Was Lin Xian going to continue? He realized that Lin Xian didn't even move from the beginning to the end. He could win the battle just by looking at his opponent. What kind of method was this? He felt a little terrified and his hair stood on end. As expected, Lin Xian won again. Kid, you've gone too far. I can't stand it anymore. During the 30th battle, a figure finally walked out. It was an old man. His skin was as black as charcoal, and there was a star between his eyebrows that was abnormally bright. It was like a third eye. He was a member of the Blackheart clan. Moreover, it was obvious that he was an expert of the older generation. His strength had reached the early minor saint realm. However, compared to ordinary minor saints, he was probably much stronger. Huiyuan and the others took a deep breath. Such an old expert should be able to contend with Lin Xian, right? At least, he wouldn't let Lin Xian win so easily. The others thought so too. However, Bai Qianqian didn't care. She knew that Lin Xian had killed 8 saint sovereigns with a single sword. 2 of them were late minor saints. Therefore, an expert of the older generation was nothing. He couldn't even be considered as a side dish. Kid, your soul might be strong, but I have the power of my bloodline. The old man cut his finger. He used his blood to stain the star between his eyebrows, turning it blood red. Boundless light surrounded him, firmly defending his soul. That's great. The surrounding people cheered when they saw this scene. The stars between the eyebrows of the members of the Blackheart clan were indeed capable of protecting their souls. Not to mention, the other party was a veteran expert. Without a soul attack, the other party would most likely die, right? Kill. The old man laughed sinisterly and charged out. This time he wanted to snipe the other party. A black blade was formed in the old man's hand, and he slashed forward. However, before the blade fell, he saw a pair of golden eyes. His heart... What? The surrounding people went crazy. Even an expert of the older generation of the Blackheart clan couldn't withstand a single glance. How strong is this kid's soul? I'm afraid an early minor saint won't be a match for him. Impossible. Huiyuan and the other 2 screamed. Dongling's face was pale. Lin Xian's means had exceeded their imagination. Kuei-mo's face was cold. 30 consecutive victories. Lin Xian's results were better than his on the first day. Could it be that Lin Xian's strength was above his? He didn't believe it. The competition continued. Those who came up had soul defensive weapons. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to come. Even so, it was useless. No matter how they tried to dodge or defend, Lin Xian could kill them with a single glance. After an incense stick, the 50th person fell to the ground. Lin Xian shook his neck and stretched his body. The surrounding people opened their mouths wide. Their eyes bulged. Their eyeballs were about to fall out of their sockets. 50 consecutive victories. 50 consecutive victories in an incense stick's time. Was he trying to defy the heavens? Kuei-mo's face was extremely dark. On the first day, he only had 25 consecutive victories. Moreover, it took him more than half a day. But now, Lin Xian actually had 50 consecutive victories in an incense stick's time. Lin Xian had completely surpassed him. He had used 3 days to achieve 50 consecutive victories. How could there be such a human expert? Who was Lin Xian? Why hadn't he heard of him before? Huiyuan and the other 2 trembled. They were afraid that Lin Xian's strength had surpassed theirs. They had dared to ridicule Lin Xian before. It seemed like they were courting death. Fortunately, Lin Xian didn't bother with them. Who else wants to continue? Why don't we win 81 matches today? Lin Xian said indifferently. He didn't have time to play with these people. Humph. Behind the crowd, the primordial city, Lord looked at this scene and snorted. Lin Xian was too arrogant. The blue-skinned old man also received the order. He walked over and said loudly, "All right, you fought 50 matches. You're already several times stronger than the others. So, you can take a break first. Let's continue tomorrow. Oh my God, the people around me have all gone crazy." Previously, there were only challengers who chose to give up and fight the next day because they were afraid of exhausting their strength. There had never been a time when Primordial City, Lord chose to stop the battle. What did this mean? Primordial City, Lord couldn't do anything to Lin Xian. Thinking of this possibility, they swallowed their saliva. Continue tomorrow? Lin Xian frowned slightly. Honestly speaking, he didn't want to delay time. But after thinking about it, he sighed. Forget it. After all, he still had to borrow Lin Xian's array. He could not give Lin Xian some face. So he said, "All right, I'm tired too. Let's continue tomorrow." He walked down. At this time, Lin Xian stopped. He felt a soul looking at him. It seemed to want to see through him. He turned his head and looked into the distance. The next moment, their gazes collided in the air. A large crack was instantly torn in the void. The surrounding people were so frightened that they screamed crazily. What was going on? Did someone make a move outside? Lin Xian retracted his gaze and walked away. On the other side, the primordial city, Lord's face sank. Lin Xian was actually able to sense him. Moreover, Lin Xian was able to block his gaze. It was really inconceivable. What shocked him even more was that he couldn't see through Lin Xian's mask. So, he didn't know who Lin Xian was. Go, investigate his background for me. Also, get some experts for me. On the second day, I won't let him get what he wants. Prepare more soul defense saint artifacts. I know. The blue-skinned old man beside him quickly moved. On the other side, Lin Xian returned to Bai Qianqian's side. Big brother Wu Jian, you're really too handsome. Bai Qianqian was very excited. Her eyes were filled with little stars. Hu Yuan and the other two were as if they were facing a great enemy. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Chapter 4107. Buzz. Lin Xian's gaze landed on the three of them. The three of them were so frightened that they retreated. What do you want to do? Dong Ling screamed. She was really scared. She had mocked him before. If he used a soul attack on her, she would probably be foaming at the mouth. She did not want to be in such a sorry state. Hu Yuan and Chuan Shui were also facing a great enemy. He said, "Young master, we did not recognize Mount Tai before," and offended young master. "We hope young master can forgive us. Young master, please forgive our ignorance." "You mean what happened before?" "Forget it." Lin Xian shook his head. He did not care about it at all. After all, why would a giant dragon care about ants? He said, "Is there a place to rest?" "I need to rest." "Yes, young master, this way please." Hu Yuan and the other two quickly led the way. When they came before, they were as noble as unparalleled gods. But now they were like little brothers. They tried their best to please Lin Xian. Their attitude before and after was really a huge contrast. When night came, Lin Xian sat cross-legged. He did not consume too much of his soul before. He was just cultivating. In the middle of the night, a figure entered the palace and approached it. Lin Xian opened his eyes. Was someone trying to assassinate him? He thought it was the people of Immemorial City. They felt that he had shown off too much before and wanted to attack him. But soon he realized that it was not. Although it was dark, he could see clearly that it was a woman who came in, and he recognized her. It was Dong Ling from the day. At this moment, Dong Ling quietly came to Lin Xian's side like a stray cat. She no longer had the arrogance of the day. Instead, she had a hint of charm. and her clothes were very wild. It seemed like she came with a purpose. "Young master, let me serve you." Dong Ling's voice was very pleasant. However, Lin Xian did not move. He said coldly, "Get lost." Dong Ling's body stiffened in the air. Her face became very ugly. Although it was dark, she could still feel her cheeks burning. "Young master, could it be that you're still shy?" She thought that Lin Xian would be reserved, so she leaned forward again. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly. A gust of wind blew him away. "Ah!" Dong Ling screamed and fell out of the palace. "Sister, how are you?" "Outside. Chuan Shui has been waiting in the dark." When he saw Dongling being beaten out of the arena, he immediately walked over and helped Dongling up with an anxious look on his face. "Could it be that you angered him?" Dongling gritted her teeth. "Damn it, he actually looked down on me." "What? He didn't take a fancy to you?" Chuan Shui was also stunned. Although his sister was arrogant, she was beautiful. She was extremely beautiful, and many ancient race experts and geniuses were pursuing her. However, today his younger sister had taken the initiative to throw herself into his arms. In the end, the other party had kicked her out. This was too inconceivable. Now I really wonder if he's a man. Dong Ling gritted her teeth. Chuan Shui's complexion changed. His little sister could not speak irresponsibly. She could not offend the young master. She knew that Lin Xian's soul was extremely powerful, so she said, "Young master, don't worry. Perhaps young master is focused on the Tao and doesn't want to think about other things. Let's go." The two of them left dejectedly. In the palace, Lin Xian snorted coldly and shook his head slightly. He closed his eyes and continued to cultivate. This Dong Ling might be beautiful in the eyes of others, but Lin Xian's women were all peerless beauties. Even 100 Donglings added together wouldn't be enough. How could Lin Xian be moved by them? The night gradually receded, and the sun rose on the second day. Immemorial City was once again filled with people. This time, there were even more people because yesterday's matter had been completely spread. The entire Flying Heaven Star knew that a human soul expert had come. In the time it took for an incense stick to burn, 50 consecutive victories. This was something that most people couldn't believe. Hence, they wanted to see for themselves how strong the other party was. On the other side, in the depths of Immemorial City, the floor master and his deputy stood. He asked, "How's the matter going?" The blue-skinned old man smiled. "Don't worry, floor master. I've already contacted many experts. It's enough to snipe him. Today, we'll also make him lose at the 69th round. And we've already gathered enough soul defense divine artifacts. This time, we'll definitely be able to defend against his soul. Even if we can't defend against it, we'll be able to offset most of it. Yes." Hearing this, Immemorial City's floor master nodded in satisfaction. Yesterday's matter was too sudden, causing them to be caught off guard. 50 people were all defeated in an instant, causing them to lose face. Hence, today they had to earn back their face. "Go, don't hold back today. Let that brat know our strength." A group of people walked out. On the other side of the arena, Lin Xian had already come up. He stood with his hands behind his back, the mask on his face emitting a cold radiance. The surrounding people were screaming nonstop. "So handsome." Some of the girls were about to faint from happiness. The warriors were also incomparably excited. They were discussing whether or not the other party could win 81 consecutive rounds. "I think it's very possible. His strength should surpass Kuei Mo's. Maybe he can really break the record." However, there were also people who shook their heads. "Not necessarily. He only has a strong soul. If he can defend against the soul, he might not be as good as Kuei Mo. Yesterday, the other party displayed such strength. Do you think Immemorial City wasn't prepared? Today, a powerful Soul Saint artifact will definitely appear." The other party's soul attack will no longer have any effect. Indeed, they know how terrifying Immemorial City is. One must know that no one has been able to win 81 consecutive rounds for hundreds of years. This is enough to prove everything. All right, after a day of rest, I think you've rested enough. So let the battle begin. The blue-skinned old man walked up and said in a clear voice. After saying that, he retreated and stood at the side with a confident and calm smile on his face. Today's preparations were very sufficient. Who's the first one? The surrounding people were incomparably excited. A figure walked up. It was a woman with a scroll in her hand. She walked up and said, "Yesterday I saw your soul attack. Today, I'll personally experience it. I'll personally snipe you." After saying that, she took out the scroll. Immediately, a crown flew out from the scroll and placed on the woman's head. Countless great daos intertwined on the crown, protecting his soul. Moon Spirit Crown. World's Edge. It was indeed a saint artifact. Countless people screamed. It seemed that their guess was right. Immemorial City was about to counterattack. The other party's soul attack was about to lose its effect. Humph. Seeing this scene, Koei Emo coldly snorted. Those people actually said that he was inferior to the other party. What a joke. Today, he would let these people know who was the strong one. Without his soul attack, that brat was nothing. Huo Yuan, Dongling, and the other two frowned again. Could the other party still win consecutively today? If the other party lost, how would they get along with the other party? When they thought of how they were forced to bow and bend their knees yesterday, and how they were even chased out of Dongling's embrace, the three of them gritted their teeth in hatred. The woman on the stage laughed. With this crown, I won't be afraid of your soul attack. Little brother, today's competition is over. A red whip appeared in her hand, and she swung it forward. Pa! Under the whip, it was like a red lightning bolt. It directly struck the void, creating a bottomless ravine. Not good, that person is in danger. Countless people screamed. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.